Hello and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, one and all, to the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve here in Montreal, Quebec. We're here for the AWSCO Windows Cup Series. We're taking on the road course in the Vidéotron 400, and we'll be doing so here for quite a while. Road course racing, stock car racing is good to see stock car racing back in Montreal here. I'll be joined here with Eddie for the pre-race show. He fortunately for maybe fortunately for everyone involved, Eddie has been unfired for the time being, so he's back here, and yeah, it'll be 92 laps around this semi-permanent slash permanent street circuit in the middle of a city park. Basically, it's a very interesting venue. It's really nice. It's quite nice out there, but it is rather it's quite nice out there, but it can get rather warm outside. But weather should be too much of a concern. And Eddie, now that you've been unfired, what are your thoughts on being back in the studio and joining us for this race in particular?
I find it funny because first off, didn't tell me I was unfired. They just said we're going to put you on a probation period. We're only going to give you a couple of shows and see if you can handle yourself. And then they told me, well, we're also going to make that your first race back is going to be in Montreal, which means I had to jump on a plane, make sure I had my passports in order, and fly here in like a day, which hasn't been fun. Um, but again, happy to be back. Surprised I've been given this race of all places, given AWSCO has, I don't want to say a lot of history, but the fact that AWSCO, I want to say it's kind of based around Canada, or at least has a lot of um, Canadian support just across the
Yeah,
board in terms
definitely.
of both track drivers and fans. I'm surprised I was given this spot of all places, but yeah, happy to be here. Montreal, this circuit, always a great time. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to
Yeah,
be in Montreal of all places.
yeah, it's nice to have you back. I think the, it was I just say it's nice having you back, and I'm sure everyone's going to enjoy having your personality and color back
Oh,
into the studio here with us. You know.
I have a great personality.
Yeah, road course racing. Yeah, we haven't. It hasn't been too long since our last road course race. That was Road America for the Sargento 400. Not too long ago, though. That track was quite a fair. I think quite a fair bit different to the racetrack here in Montreal. This track in particular is pretty interesting. It's got a lot of straightaways, but at the same time, it's quite tight and narrow as well. Lots of chicanes. You got that hairpin on the other side of on the other side of the track heading to the backstretch. That's going to be a pretty important overtaking spot. Hopefully, the chicanes are also going to be important. Lots of cars are going to be playing around with their brakes, kind of modulating, seeing what kind of lines you can go through that area. And overall, I think with the high drag jacket, I do think things are going to be really really exciting in terms of cars bunching up. I do think there's going to be quite a lot of cars. What do you call it? Running around in smaller hack styles races, I should say, given the high drag and propensity of straightaways at this track. What do you think?
Oh yeah, no, that's gonna happen, and I mean it's going to happen. There's no like, will it happen? No, it's going to happen, and it's gonna make for an interesting race because again, with how road courses are kind of run, um, here in AWSCO and I think across the board in terms of leagues, no cautions, and these bunches of cars really lead into some unfortunate uh, wrecks that, just drivers getting loose and ending up spinning in front of a pack, and if without these cautions, you're not safe. We do have cautions turned off, right? The flag's
I
only
do.
going to
Well,
wait.
yeah,
There's
it is going to be.
That's what I
It is
thought.
going to be
Yeah.
the OSCO. What do you call it? Caution road course caution protocol. So there will be cautions called if there are cars stopped on the track, but otherwise we are going to
Yeah.
keep it green as much as possible.
That's what I thought. That's
Usually
what.
what will happen that causes a caution is if a car breaks down with some sort of mechanical failure
Yep.
and stops in the middle of the track. But otherwise, it should be green flag racing.
I mean that's what I thought. But again, with those bunches of packs, what we could see is a lot of drivers in the end. They finish multiple laps down. They're still on the track, but you get spun around or you you just have a bad one, you end up stuck, I don't know, in a tire barrier on the outside of the track, and having to get towed back, and without a caution or just with a spin, that really puts a dent in any strategy. So what's going to happen in this race, assuming there are as many wrecks as I think there's going to be, is it's really going to be a race of survival, and by survival I mean you need to be absolutely perfect. You need to hit every turn, every lap. Um, Hopefully have a good pit stop, and you're going to have a chance of the race, winning the race. And I mean, in the end, that's going to benefit the people who got in the fast 10 drivers in the front rows, because they're going to have less things to deal with, at least until later. Hopefully lap traffic doesn't cause a leader to get, I mean, to end up getting damaged. But I can certainly see that happening in this race. The point being that um, if you're out in front, you can get to a pretty sizable lead as long as you hit your marks. And in the end, it's going to be the driver who can hit their marks pretty much perfectly the entire race who's going to end up winning this thing. So,
Yeah, maybe.
perfection, people. We're about to crown a new Miss Perfect, because that's who's going to win this race tonight.
Yeah, and pit strategy is going to play an important part of this race as well. You have to get your pit strategy and execution on the pit lane right as well if you're going to stay as a contender out on track, because these cars do, from what I can tell, these cars have been a little bit slower than you might expect from the stock cars that we saw here at Montreal. That's kind of part and parcel due to the high drag package, and also the bit of a change with the tire compound that we brought to this track. So that will make things interesting as well. I do think the grip levels are going to be something to discuss as the race goes on. So maybe we might see a race where maybe some of the more experienced road course drivers are a little bit more find a bit more success at this track, or maybe it might be an equalizer. The package definitely is throwing a bit of a curveball at everyone, I would say.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Rasha. Might be a little rusty right now, but I have nothing else to say to that. Agree with everything you said.
Well, what I said basically was with the way the high drag package is being used, and the fact that I think that we changed the tire compound. The makeup of that has been changed. We're gonna see the cars go pretty slowly. I think quite a bit slower than you would expect the stock cars to go at Montreal. Of course, they're going to go quite a way slower than, say, a Formula One car. But I think they might go quite a fair bit slower than even the Nationwide cars did when they last raced here. That's what I mean.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And I would assume so. As much as these drivers are, more experienced than the Continental drivers, I do think a racetrack like Montreal. I mean, we saw some of the experience come out in like Road America, but given that we see, Ava Jartharaj winning this, given someone who has a lot of road course experience in terms of her background, winning pole, you can definitely tell this is a track that's gonna owe itself to the drivers who can, I guess I don't even want to say compete, who can just do what they need to do on road courses. And in the end, I think in that the high drag package is going to end up helping them, just in terms of people are going to, in the end, drivers are going to be a little nervous on this track. They're probably going to be a little slower in the end, and that's going to help someone who's either aggressive or experienced, because they're going to know when to hit their mark, and they're just going to know where they can take advantage of someone's inexperience, in terms of the different areas in the track where you can. So I would imagine that this high drag package, low speeds are not gonna really help anyone, but they're gonna hurt. But the drivers who they're going to help are going to be the ones who are going to be more like the least hurt by it.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it that way.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment of things, I would say. Oh, with that, I think it is a good time to look at, say, the starting lineup for the race. take a look. It is a
yes.
Yoshirush on the pole, so not too unexpected, I should say, considering Yoshirush is pretty experienced in road course racing. Harry Olacante starting alongside her. That's two international drivers up on the front row. And as you look through the rest of the Fast 10, you'll see the likes of Handstrom, Javid, lots of Handstrom sitting in third. That's a road course winner. That's another road course winner, one at Bathurst, I think. You'll see, of course, Mika Harina up here, who's always qualified well. Yania Waterton keeping up the good form. He's recently been turning those good qualifying performances into really good race performances, and her teammate and co-owner Mimi Barrino's also right there, right in the top 10 with her. So it's not too big of a surprise, I should say. The cars that are up front, you see the NB2IW cars are always adept qualifiers. A lot of the two Mason Parker drivers with three Mason Parker drivers, I should say, in the top 10. Blocking out the top 3 positions, I should say. So that's a team that'll definitely be one to look out for, I think. We know they can win on these road courses, so that's definitely a team that is going to be a top contender for this race, I think. But I don't think you can also count out the Atlantic cars. We have 2 of those cars in the top 10. You have Nihale and Harina, and Adi Stoneman, and Isa Javida are the other 2 cars that are starting up in the top 10. You look as you scan through the rest of the starting grid. Is there anybody else that catches your eye? I do think there's quite a few drivers starting up in the middle of the pack that might maybe move up and try to contend for the win as well.
I'm not looking so much as contention, but I'm looking in sort of the surprise of the Canadian drivers. I mean, the highest placing of the, I think, 4 or 5 Canadian drivers we have is Davison in 11th, and Sophie Chanteze, who someone I would imagine who has driven on this course before, starting outside row 14. That's not really a place you want to start. That's definitely a place where you are in danger of getting wrecked early, assuming that people bunch up. So I guess I'm more surprised in that regard. In terms of drivers, maybe in the mid-pack who can make their way up. I mean, Delod, even though she's starting row 18, all it takes is everyone else having a bad day, and you could push your way up to the front. I believe Jami McJasmina is starting better than she did at Road America, and she finished 6th at Road America. She started 14th, so you could see her moving up. Yenfi Yanaga also moved up a lot at Road America, and she's starting around the same place. Actually, again, farther ahead than when she did. So there are a couple drivers who, assuming the experience we've seen out of them, from Yanaga, from McJasmina, maybe from Bria Delod, although she more likely benefited from starting 4th. You could really see how there are some drivers who, if they show what they did at Road America, or at least strategize like they did at Road America, they could find themselves competing for the win here. But the other thing is just, there aren't a lot of, I guess, fan favorites up front. I think Chanteze would be the biggest fan favorite. I'm sure the rest of the fans in attendance would love to cheer on a Canadian to win over any of the other Americans, or at least just anyone other than an American.
I mean, imagine if Quebecois won this race. That would be the
oh my gosh, if they did. Well, would it be fair to say? Would it be fair to say there'd be some rioting? Maybe just a little bit.
I don't know. This might be the wrong side of the country, but there might be quite a lot of fanfare regardless. Hey, but anyways, yeah, I mean, if you look at it, if you look at the crowd, Chantose is going to have a bit of an uphill battle. She's starting out, kind of in the middle to the back of the pack, and her races so far have been up and down, really up and down, and we haven't seen her get a really good result in quite a while now. I mean, her last top 10 is all the way out in Bristol, and all the way out in Bristol, and she's sitting down 33rd in points. A win like this would 100% turn her season around. I mean, we see what's going on with Yania Waterton right now on that really good form.
Yeah.
Izagida as well as another driver to look out for, trying to turn that season around. Got off to a pretty good start, but has really struggled in the last, I should say, month and a half or so. It's really been, really hasn't had a top 20 finish outside of, the road course, except outside of the road course, Road America, which finished 18th. Otherwise, you have to go all the way back out to Texas, and that was well in our quite a while ago, I should say, for a top 15 finish. So yeah, that 2 car might be one to might be looking to maybe press the reset button on the season here. A lot of drivers seem to be trying to do that, and maybe we'll see one of those drivers that are a little bit further down in points, maybe just kind of really focus on this race, and maybe that's what we're seeing here.
You might. Certainly might. Yeah, we will have to see. And, you know, with Javida is Vic Jasmina, Stoneman, and Mimi Barrino starting top 10. We could see people who, similar to Yanni Waterton, similar to a lot of Continental drivers, all you need is a win to lock stuff in the playoff, and starting the top 10 at a road course is definitely a way to put that. And for a lot of these drivers, I mean, again, Javida's had some bad runs. Mick Jasmina has slowly improved, and by improved I mean she's finishing in the top 10 nowadays, sometimes. And Eddie Stoneman, outside of 10th at Kentucky, has just not been able to consistently place herself anywhere inside the top 20. So
yeah, Stoneman has run pretty well. I think she just had a few mechanical problems in the last few weeks, so that might be the reason why she's kind of started to tumble down the points a little bit. So
yeah,
I'll say maybe another driver to look out for. That 38 of Youngwei Ku has been pretty decent all season. Did get a 6th place finish at Bathurst, and finished top 10 at Road America as well. So that's a driver that's kind of right in the midfield. We haven't seen too much of her running up front, but she's been able to finish races pretty well, I think. And maybe a stroke of luck or maybe some good strategy might help her really start contending for race wins in this part of the season. Any final thoughts before we get started on this race, Eddie?
No, other than good luck to everyone driving, and let's have some fun. Let's just have some fun. It's Montreal.
Yeah, no,
it's Montreal. Let's make this a fun one, please. We cannot have a boring one.
This is actually going to be a lot of fun, and with that, we'll take it over to the booth where we'll have Echo and Ludovic take over the commentary for the race, and hopefully we'll be on the pit lane just kind of messing about, trying to figure out what's going on with the teams as for the first half of the race, and we'll see you guys in a bit.
Yeah, and welcome to the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve here in Montreal, Quebec, for the 16th race of the season, the Vidéotron 400 here. I'm joined by Lou at this beautiful, about 2.7 mile road course, I believe it is. Hello, Lou.
Probably somewhere around that. We use kilometers here. Hello.
What is a kilometer? So this will be an interesting race. We got 92 laps here, 400 kilometers that we're going in this race. You know what? I just said what is a kilometer, and I just defined it already. So that's great.
There you go. Here's the answer.
And Mesa Parker Motorsports cars. They've got 3 cars in the top 3 spots. That's a great qualifying effort. How are they going to translate that into the race here?
By having track position. They have track position, and that's the most important part of any road course. I think if there's a road course where the track position isn't nearly as important, it's probably here. But it's good to have that track position, and maybe if they're actually quick in the race, they can get a victory. But if they're quick in quality, that means they know how to set up their car, which I think is a very important part of how to run well around here.
That's fine.
So yes, it's good. It probably means that they're going to have a good result. I don't know if they're going to get a win though. We'll see.
And it's going to be key as well, I think, to stay out of chaos here, as well as we head into the 16th race of the season and this first race of our big road course stretch. We have 5 road courses in the next 6 races. So this mid-season road course swing really going to test these drivers for the next few weeks. All right, here's your starting lineup. Row 1, it's the 98 Eva Ajarsaraj alongside the 18 of Perry Alacantes. Row 2, Arlen Handstrom in the 19 and the 2 of Isa Ijavida. Handstrom won back at Bathurst, and Ajarsaraj actually won in Willow Springs. So that's two road course drivers that have won at road courses this season up at the front of the field. Row 3, it's Lowry Schliesenbach alongside Mimi Barrino. Another great qualifying run for that 3 car, but we'll see if they can actually translate that into a race result. Row 4, the 34 of Mika Harina alongside the 10 of Audie Stoneman, who's running towards the front at Road America before she had an engine issue. Row 5, the 13 of Yania Waterton and the 64, Jocelyn Nihale. Nihale comes in as the points leader. Row 6, our most recent winner, Andrea Davison, the Ontarian driver, comes into Quebec as the most recent winner. I'm sure that the crowd is, I guess they might be okay with that, actually. Alongside DeGabi Abriella. Row 8 is the 38 of Youngwei Ku and the 6 of Giami McJasmina. Row 9, the 62 of Halis Yukovic and the 17 of Dira Reister. Row 10, the 32, Cinlia Rareston, 2-time winner this year, and the 42 of Meika Gennaro. Row 11, the 93, Irina Tosima, and the 52 of Rachel Cole. Row 12, the 92 of Michele Yatica, and the 1 of Alicia Vancy. Row 13, the 96, Angeli Rugatino, and the 60 of Amory Wesco. Row 14, the 46 of Yenfe Yanaga, and the 21 of Amani Wandayo. Row 15, the 39, Lily Talberson, and hometown driver, the 26, Sophie Chantasse. This is row 15. The 31, Taylor Happeman, and the 23 of Yappy Malikson. Row 16, the 82, Pace Lanieri, and the 72 of Janet Parkings. Row 17, the 99, Marisha Vebels, and the 9 of Carly Byrne. Row 8, Bria Delade, winner at Road America, alongside the 91 of Alicia Byrne. Row 19, the 15, Tabrisia Tolerone, and the 16 of Sky Angetta. And in row 20, starting at the tail end of the field, the 71 of Abby Little, and the 27 of Nietzsche Garnston. So, what do you think are going to be the keys to this race early on, and then, as we get towards the end of this race? It's a road course, so we're only on manual cautions. What do you think the keys are going to be?
They need to be careful early in this race to not have any contact. Keep in mind, this is the first time this racetrack is used the entire year. It's a road course. It's used for other things, so it means it's very dirty. So yes, they need to be very careful with that, and then just try in the second part of the race to just hammer down when you find because every driver at a road course will have a different groove that they can get into, and where they can really gain a lot of time, especially at a place like with a lot of diverse corners like Montreal. When you find out what that is, just hammer that down in the second part of the race when you know that there's a bit more grip with the racetrack, and try to go as fast as possible then. It's more about the pit crew. It's more about the pit crew as well. Just don't mess up that pit stops or those pit stops, depending. So,
all right.
We'll see.
Pace car's off. We're rolling to the start-finish line. Ajarsaraj and Alacantes, the two teammates, will lead them to the green flag, and we're green here in Montreal. 98 really did not go on the start. The 18's going to take the early jump. Handstrom looked underneath for that second position, and she's going to get by. So Ajarsaraj drops from the pole position back to third here at the start of this race. It's going to be a trouble zone here. This is where we might see a lot of cars have some trouble getting through. The wall's so tight in that area. It's easy to make contact there, but it looks like everybody's going to keep everything fairly clean here. 3 wide going through the second chicane.
And that's a good start for anybody in the top 5, really. I think that 3 wide really bunched everyone more back there up, and that means it's a successful start from everyone. We hadn't seen a big wreck, as I say that, the 2's in the wall, but that's fine. That is
It's not a big
probably not
wreck.
going to have a lot of damage in that.
Yeah, it's not a big wreck.
It's not a big wreck. Well, you know, a big wreck individually is very different from a collective big wreck. If you can just, that's a bit of damage in for the Kustar card of 62, I think it is.
64 of Nihil.
64, okay.
Just trying to get a little bit of, you know, in the hairpin because it's such a heavy braking zone. You're trying to push as hard as you can into the corners.
And they're gonna go 3 wide here. Oh, 3 wide at the third chicane is not gonna go well. Yeah.
They narrowed it out
They
to
make
2, barely, but they did narrow it out. 22 of Davison is down the pit road, so I believe that might have been some sort of damage for her. The 10 of Stoneman has gotten around Ajar Siraj for the 3rd position now. Alicantes with a 4-second lead after the first lap of this race.
That's what happens when you get a dirty racetrack, and really a racetrack that people are not used to running on. You can, if you know what you're doing and you're ahead, you have a clean track, you don't have any distractions, you can get ahead very quickly. But that 4 seconds, it's gonna go. Oh, and I think we had something happen in the just before the S's here.
I think that might have been on the first lap.
Yeah.
That might have been why the 22 came down pit road.
Maybe. But yes, if the gaps here don't really matter that much, because you can easily lose 3 seconds in a lap if you mess up at one of the chicanes, and pretty much everybody in the field will mess up at least once today.
In testing as well in this for this race, you know, we were seeing a lot of cars. You know, there were such high differences in the lap times that cars would turn. Sometimes some cars would be turning laps 4 to 5 seconds faster than the cars behind them.
Oh my goodness!
96 sent it really deep there. Almost too deep.
That's just a small misjudgment of the braking zone here. Don't blame her, especially with how much traffic there is early in this race. Keep in mind, these racetracks are not really made to be ran with 40-something drivers on them. They're meant to be ran with maybe 20 drivers. They're mainly a single-seater racetracks, so it gets really crowded really quickly, especially when you have stock cars that are bigger than the regular single-seaters, and we have quite a little bit of people in the pits already.
Yeah, 3 and 93 came down. We may have a fight for second here because Stoneman is closing in on the 19 fairly quickly. NordVPN fastest lap after the first full lap on the circuit. Stoneman has it actually right now.
It might be why she caught up easily to Handstorm.
See Nihil here pressuring Waterton. Going to the outside. That's actually the preferred corner here under the bridge.
Well, to get a slightly more speed into that chicane, which is very important here. The main thing you want to worry about here is to not cut the chicane, because you get in the grass, and if you get in the grass, and even the battle for second still going on.
And we missed the pass for second. Stoneman got around Handstrom. There's Nick Jasmine fighting
might
with
be the F1 level of of the broadcasting team today.
It's the Lance Stroll thing. Harina's gotten around Ajarsaraj down the back straightaway here. So the 34 is up to the 4th position. Stoneman now 7 seconds back of the 18, but moved up to 2nd. That 10 car looks fairly strong right now.
Yeah, this lap will be important for the 10. If
22, I think.
for the 10.
Nah, I think she's okay. I think she just
Oh,
has a bit of a.
oh my
Issue
goodness!
coming
There's a
off
lot
the
of
curb.
damage for that. Who's that? Nice, right?
The
Probably
70.
a couple of
I think
cars
that was
with
the 71. 71, and the 15's actually out of the race. I'm not
Oh,
sure.
so something happened that we didn't see on the last lap here.
I saw this 15 in the pits, but I didn't see why.
Oh, Wall of Champion claiming it. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I think she
Just lost it, and that's
just
the
lost it
dirty
off the
racetrack
curbs.
for you.
Oh, that's where the 22 was.
Yeah, that's what a dirty racetrack does. You just lose it, and some of these stock car drivers don't necessarily know how to manage a stock car that loses it.
And that's actually going to bring out
a
the.
road course.
That is going to bring out the caution flag because the 15 stopped on the racing surface. So, first caution of the day we're going to see here on lap number 4.
It'll be interesting to see what the 10 does on the restart in a couple of laps. I
Yeah.
would imagine they won't come in now. So, except if they got damage, but I don't think any one of the main contenders they have damage yet.
You might see some cars trying to do this strategy backwards. 26 is actually up into the top 10 already, so she's actually moved up to 9th. She just got by Ku.
Another thing to keep in mind today is that all of these drivers are probably racing on this racetrack for the first time because it's not used. It's not used all year. It's used for one event. This is the second event we're gonna host in a year. So it's there we go. Crosses the finish line first. What a surprise! But yes, it's used for one event, and that means that they don't exactly know every intricacy of this racetrack, especially because it's pretty big and the corners are quite technical. So, and also even if they had raced, the Canadian winters can be quite tough, and the racing surface tends to change a lot year to year, and that can have a very big effect on how the racing goes.
I think, it's mitigated a little bit. They probably have some simulator time here, but...
Yeah, but the simulator is a snapshot in time.
Yeah, it's a simulator. It's not the real thing.
So... I really do wonder how much the lap traffic will be easy to overtake for these guys, because it can, because once a line forms here, it can get pretty hard to get out of the line to try to overtake a lap car, specifically because you get a lap car you shouldn't. Maybe sometimes they have to, but you shouldn't try to dive or make an actual hard overtake. You should try to make an easy one on one of the straights.
Because this is a road course as well, this track has the short pace laps, so only 2 pace laps. Most of the field's kind of catching up here still.
Yeah, because a lot of them have pitted, and if they've pitted, it's what, a minute pit.
Free pass car is going to be the 22.
Oh, we have already lapped cars?
Yeah, she fell a lap down after pitting.
Okay.
She pitted twice.
Oh, engine issue for somebody.
Oh, 99. Vebelst is gone. That's not a great sign.
Yeah, that's probably the end of the day. And it's a real walk of shame here when coming back to the pits because it takes so long, especially when you've got a blown engine and you can't accelerate in the straights.
I feel like everybody's coming to pit road. 42 staying out. Gennaro's chosen to stay out. Kind of getting all dancy here. 6 car, McJasmine is going to stay out. Looks like the 31's going to stay out as well. Alright. Well, everybody comes in. $18, $10, $64, $52, $13 going to win the race out. So we will see a lead change here. The 42 of Meika Gennaro's has chosen to stay out, so she will lead this lap at the very least. Interesting play. Track position. I think that's an interesting play track position wise. So, Gennaro, Alicante, Stoneman, McJasmine is going to cycle to 4th based on the pit exit. A few cars going to mix in some different spots. Lights have been turned out here in the bridge chicane, so we will be going green here very soon. 22 of Davison was the only car. That was a lap down. She cycled back to the front of the grid here. Well, to the very tail of the grid, but she is now back on the lead lap. So we're going to be coming to the green here. With Gennaro out front. 42 stayed out here. You think that's a good move here?
I mean, probably. We hadn't run that many laps, and I don't think tire drag is gonna be that crazy around here. I think it's with the long straight shouldn't be incredibly tough on the tires. So maybe I'll say having the clean racetrack is very important on the race starts. So on the restarts, I mean. So it's gonna take maybe a few laps before we actually see if it has a complete effect or not.
McJasmine is going to take 3rd from Stoneman. Alicantes is looking underneath the 42. Alicantes still not able to make the move quite yet. She's there. Nihil now trying to take this spot away from the 10 car.
What that 42 wants now is just to stick exactly to the race line and not move at all from it. And a mistake will be very costly right now. So.
Nihil was not able to get around the 10 of Stoneman. 52 of Cole's trying to dive bomb to the inside, but you don't want to do that in this chicane.
Ooh. was
And that's pretty much why. You lose so much speed on the inside. McJasmine has closed up to these two.
well, yeah, because the 42C is pretty
Whoa.
slow.
These cars are really stacking up.
Now, what's going to be interesting is to see this lap. Not 'cause the first lap, it's normal. The 42 is a bit of an advantage being up front. This time, if the 18 doesn't pass the 42, that's when it's going to get very tricky because it's not only going to be the 10. It's going to come back. It's everybody else. And then the pressure is going to be very strong.
18 is really on the 42 right here. Looks to the outside here on the exit of turn of turn 2. And I believe she'll get the spot here.
42 clipped a bit the curb there, and that's not a place you want to be. The curbs here very very punishing.
Arlen Handstrom back here fighting with the 52 of Rachel Cole. Got Cole, there's Shanta Say trying to take this spot. .26 going to try to stay to the outside of the 52.
And it's kind of interesting here to see see what's happening with the actual way they race in the pack here, because they're really playing it safe, but at the same time they're trying to make moves. That I don't think that's the best way of going at it. I think if you're going to make a move, you probably should try to make it as early as possible, because if you want to stay behind and conserve a bit, that's fine. But if you want to actually attack, then that's gonna be that 42 is holding quite well.
Yeah, she's not dropping.
Second place.
She's not dropping back as far as some other cars had. 64 and Nihil looks like she's coming in for some damage repair. Same with the 38. Yeah, Gennaro's she's still less than a second back of the 18 car. So I think she may be okay here. For a few cars there, I think, got damaged in that stack up coming to the 20 car of Gabriella. They are going to go 3 wide right here. Well, they were, but the 96 pulled away.
Interesting to see those damaged car being able to keep up with everybody else in the midfield. No.
Yeah.
You would expect this to be quite a aero and chassis dependent racetrack, considering it's a road course, but a bit long straights, and that.
Yeah, the long straightaways kind of help you, especially with the low drag package. It helps you get a bit of a draft on the car up in front of you. How about hometown driver Sophie Chantese from Montreal, up in 7th right now. She started pretty deep in the field, but you know, if you're talking about a hometown driver, they love their hometown drivers in Quebec. So I'm sure that this would, if she's able to get up towards the front, it would be absolutely crazy here.
Probably, yes, and also it's not completely unexpected, because these conditions very late May, very early June, when the racing starts to happen usually in Quebec, because before May you cannot go racing. That's conditions that you don't really get in a lot of places, except if maybe you're in the extreme northeast of the United States. So that's experience. While it might not be at this racetrack in particular, Shell probably has raced at some road courses in pretty similar conditions, whether it be Mosport or that was not a good chicane.
32 really went wide in the chicane, and it let the 26 get by. Waterton came down pit road. So Chantase's now moved up to 5th. Gennaro's still there on Alicante's, still kind of maintaining pace with the 18 right now. Which I'm a bit surprised about because Alicante's had, she pulled a pretty big lead at the start of the race. She had about a 6 or 7 second lead at the start of the race before we got that first caution. And the 42, who wasn't really anywhere near the front, has now, run lap times pretty comparable with her. She actually ran a faster lap that last time, so...
Yes, I mean, it's interesting. I think there's a bit of an equalizer here factor, which is outside of when you mess up, everybody's going to run pretty similar lap times. It's interesting to see that the degradation really doesn't seem to be strong at all then, but and that's somebody out then?
39 and 31 retired. I think this might have been something under pacing. Yeah, it looks like it.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I think the 31...
Somebody missed the entry, right?
Yeah, I believe the 31 missed the entry. I thought she was staying out, but no, she actually came in. Well, she tried. And the 39 plows right in because, well, there's not really much else. There's not really another place for her to go.
Quite irresponsible, honestly. Strike
Yeah.
turn like that. I know you want to come in if you wanted to. It could have just given up 3 positions. It's early in the race, could have made them up, but hey. Kind of surprised it didn't have an effect on anybody coming after that would have had to run that debris. Ow.
Bit of a stack up, yeah. The braking here, they get a little, they've had a little trouble braking here, especially down into the first chicane. Or not the first chicane, the hairpin.
Yeah, the first chicane seems to be fun.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, they seem to be dealing with the chicanes very carefully. So they're well, as I say that, they go too wide in the third chicane. Ooh, and somebody bumps the wall. So
96. So 10 laps complete here from Montreal. We were in Saint-Eustache last night, and it was a pretty interesting race. We had a long green flag run in that race to close the race out, and it was very fun and interesting to watch. There was a lot of different strategies that played out in that one, but this one we're probably going to see even more different kinds of strategies play out. This is road courses just tend to be very strategic tracks. A lot of those cars.
Very interesting track, honestly. Said it's yeah, it's not split fast anymore, but
yeah.
It's the road course there is very fascinating.
Yeah, I mean that's probably
motorcycle racing.
That's probably a place that Chanteze has some experience. Probably as well, Mont Tremblant, which I believe would be your home track, technically.
Yes. Mont Tremblant depends on how rich he is. But yeah, Saint-Eustache was really the racetrack. When iCar opened, that kind of cut a bit of that market down. Kind of diluted it a bit, but still, the thing is that Saint-Eustache was way more of a all-together racetrack, while iCar is more of just a test track, and sometimes you run a bit of a motor racing there, of actual racing, and not testing. But Saint-Eustache, there was karting, a lot of karting there. There was motorcycle. There was every sort of motorsport really can think of. They had a few Formula Libre race there too. I remember.
Alicante's leading Gennaro. Gennaro's been keeping with the 18 for a good bit, but I think that she might just kind of be, not pushing it too hard right now.
Well,
Shantase has dropped back to the 6th position. The 98 of Ajarsra has just gotten by.
even if she's not pushing it right now, it's working because the gap between first and third place and first and fourth place just keeps getting wider.
Yeah.
I don't know what that six has, but it doesn't look like it's very quick, honestly. Maybe some damage, or maybe just wanting really to conserve a lot. But
McJasmine is even the 6 car is in the same boat as the 42 though, because they both stayed out on the last caution.
Yeah, yeah, that might be why, actually. Yeah, that might be the 6 trying to extend as much as possible.
Yeah.
Get back with the main strategy. And everybody else just...
You're speaking about
pushing as much as
conditions.
they can.
Conditions in the north, pretty similar, like in the northeastern United States. Janet Parkins is in 10th now, so the 72 car, she's from Massachusetts, so she drove modifieds all over the place. So it's probably a track that I guess could lend itself to running modifieds, I guess. I mean, obviously they wouldn't run modifieds here. That would be insane.
Well, I mean, yeah, maybe.
Could be that skill set.
Exactly. I think that modified racing and stock car racing at road courses is, I mean, I don't exactly know that, but I would guess it's very different.
Yeah.
Especially in terms of how much grip they have. But it's certainly, I imagine she didn't only race modified. She probably should race a bit of other types of racing in general.
Well, I mean, if you're a modern racing driver, you probably have run a lot of different things.
Yeah.
A lot of cars coming down pit road for looks like kind of regular service. A lot of cars just coming down, 4 tires, fuel.
Not our top 2.
Not the top 2 right now.
It'll be interesting to see if the 42, because she is in that draft and everything's kind of able to extend her run enough to not have to worry about pitting at a different time. Plus bit of caution coming out at the wrong time or anything like that. Nope.
26 trying to move the 91 out of the way here.
And you'll see that with drivers that have damage and that don't have damage, a bit of frustration sometimes it happens. You just gotta remember to not run yourself out
not
of the
damage
race.
yourself too badly, yeah.
Yeah.
And Gennaro's now starting to kind of lose a bit of time now.
Well, losing 2.5 seconds is probably just a mistake more than anything, but the lap cars between the 18 and the 42 will be fascinating now.
Yeah, the 18 is not going to be
everybody coming out
in the lap traffic. And the 18 is running about 2 seconds slower than her fast laps, but so is the 42. So is pretty much everybody. Nobody's really running their fast laps. The tires are wearing out.
And it'll be interesting to see as the race goes on. Maybe somebody trying to extend as much as possible can gain really cycle of pit stops, because tire wear here is not the most important. And if you can time yourself to get in that drive, oh my goodness, what a terrible corner for the 18, being passed by those lap cars that
she tried to go inside on the 22 and it hurt her really badly, and that might let the 42 close up here.
Yeah, the 18 is just not having a good time. Look at how wide she's taken the exit of the hairpin here. That's just, yeah, being out front for the entirety of that run, without any help from anyone, might have hurt her a bit.
Yeah, dealing with traffic is an entirely different animal than dealing with 16 is back in. Ooh, 42.
Oh,
Just hit the wall there. See, the 98 of Ajar Siraj is starting to close up on the 10 of Stoneman for the 4th position.
and right now these positions seems a bit unconsequential because just how large the gap is. But one caution and that's gone. So it's really important to have
Oh yeah,
to fight even if you're a bit back. And
I think the 16.
why did
I think the 16's pit stall is broken.
Well, that's yep. Hey, this racetrack is not made to hold that many race cars, so.
Where'd the 16 start? Because that would determine what pit stall she had. Okay, 38th. Yeah, that might do it.
That's understandable. Could have just been damage on the way out of the pits.
98.
That can happen.
Gonna make the move,
Nope.
take the 4th spot. So put Ajar Siraj up here.
I mean, it was the 10 just giving up here. Just deciding, you know, I'll let you go. I won't try to go side by side. It runs a bit like an endurance race. Everybody's in their own rhythm. Everybody's on their own strategy right now. So there's no real point in fighting if you know you're not on the same strategy as the car in front of you or ahead of you, or I mean behind you.
Yeah, she gave the 98 a couple bumps there in the corners, but
That's just a bit of intimidation.
yeah, probably. 42's in.
Probably because of the damage
18.
too.
Yeah, probably. 18 stays out. I mean, you could probably go a lot longer in terms of fuel window here. I think the fuel window here is about 35-ish laps, something like that.
Oh wow.
You could cross-check that, but yeah, 37. It's actually probably a little shorter. Yeah, it's more like 25. So
Well, that's interesting because that means really, if you're good at managing tires, you can like get yourself out of a
What
dead stop.
is going on here?
Ooh.
Yep, that's something. That's definitely something is going on.
I think that damage car could just holding everybody up.
Yeah. 10 car, I think, also came down the pit road. So the 98, the 6, and the 18 are still out on track right now. Well, Alicante's just taking it slow now. Frigianero, I mean, you've come down the pit road now. Somebody hit the wall? Thought I heard scraping. Frigianero now. You know, she spent a bit of time on pit road, but you're gonna have fresher tires than the 18 now. You're gonna try to. You want to try and make. You think she's gonna want to try and make that gap up here? She actually didn't even slip back that far. She's still in the 8th spot right now.
52 seconds. I mean, the issue. Well, the 42 is gonna have to push because they had to fix that damage.
Yeah.
That will set her back a few seconds. The issue is just there hasn't been really a lot of the conditions. I think for practice were different from what the conditions for this race were, right? So at least quite different. So
Yeah.
they don't necessarily have a lot of data on exactly how well the tires degrade in these conditions. Because it's the first time here, and somebody went wide. It's the first time here, and they don't necessarily, they just don't necessarily have had the time to run that many race practice sessions. Well,
race
race
laps. Yeah.
simulations. Yeah. So you don't necessarily know, and that means it's kind of hard to strategize around how much I gotta push to make somebody, well, to pass somebody on pit road. I think it's better if I were the 42 to just push the few seconds I lost due to the damage, and then just wait around and see where I come out to the in comparison to the 18, and then chase from there.
The 98 has really been closing up on the 6 here. Ajar, she looks really fast right now.
At the pole, right? So,
Yeah, she started on the pole, but she wasn't able to. She never led a lap because she lost the lead. She lost the lead. Had a little bit of a lack of speed earlier. Oh, they're in the
Oh.
wall! Wow, the 98 and 6 just. The 98 just hooked the 6 into the wall down the back straightaway.
that's not what you want to do,
No,
because
that's
yeah,
probably gonna take both of the. That's probably gonna take a good bit of speed out of both of those cars.
man, we were lucky this didn't end up in them both spinning out, because on the backstretch like this, in the middle of the backstretch, would have been very hard for everyone to avoid them. The 18s can lead by 15 seconds.
15 seconds is the gap that Alicantes has, but I'm not sure if that's what the gap will stay at. The 98's been really flying. She's been on the move. She's got to get around the 52 though.
Depends how much damage that 98 has, if any. You know, it's good this isn't F1, because that move probably would have been illegal there. On the 6. 6 still able to...
6 is holding on, but I think that's
Hold
partly
on, is
because
on.
the 52 is kind of holding up the 98 here. And yeah, 98's going to
Yeah.
finally get clear here. Oh, the 16 finally actually managed to make her pit stop work. Oh, that's in the wall
Oh
as
my-
well. The 93 and 22.
Okay, so now they're doing that. Now that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I
I
guess
don't know
they're
why
just,
they do that.
They're just being terrorists, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, especially in a lap car. I think that was a lap car.
That was
So-
multiple lap cars. Those are both. They were actually racing for position. A lap
Oh,
down, but they were racing for position.
Okay, in that case, it's slightly more justifiable. When I say slightly, it's very slightly more justifiable.
Janero's trying to hold the 72 of parkings back behind her right now. Not going to be able to do it though. The 72 is going to get around.
That's... Yeah,
I
that's
think
fine.
I think that might be the thing. The 18 may just not have the may not have the short run pace, but I think she definitely has some long run pace. She's catching the tail end of a bunch of cars here though.
Well, I think that what's gonna happen with the 18 is just... The 18 is really on the strategy to just try to go as long as possible.
Yeah.
The issue with that is that when you're going to be very slow, if she tries to go on for a few more laps and really go to the end of her fuel run, what happened with those past two incidents might happen with her, with just somebody misjudging the speed at which she's going and just clipping her, and that's as easy as it gets, because around here the walls are so
Oh,
close that
she's coming
oh,
in.
and she's coming in, so forget about that.
See what the 98 does. She's going to stay out. 6 car will be in. 98 stays out, AWSCO, so I believe she... I don't know. Okay, no, she won't come across as the leader.
She'll go next time. Except if she
Probably.
wrecks out, but I don't think that... It'd be funny if she wrecks out now.
Yanniga chose to stay out. I believe the 26 has chosen to stay out here, so...
The 42 is going to be where it's interesting. Oh, I don't think the 42 is anywhere
42
close.
is not
Oh
going to be
my
close.
goodness.
Yeah, she's not close. Oh, the 22. What is the 22 doing? 42's also lost a fair bit of time these last few laps because she was battling some other cars.
To be fair, the 18 was as well, but maybe the damage on the 42 is bigger than we thought.
Maybe. She was slowing up a bit beforehand too, so. '22 is in here again.
Yeah, some of these cars are just not having a good time today.
Yeah, that's just how it is sometimes.
I mean, yeah, the
34's
thing
in.
is, I was talking before the race or maybe during the race, I don't know. You know, finding that groove, finding exactly what you want, and you can have the inverse as well. Because if you mess up enough times, first it can destroy your confidence, and B, you can sometimes learn your mistakes and start doing them naturally, and then you're in big trouble to unlearn that in a few hours.
See what the 98 does. Stays on another lap here, so she's going to be the leader of this lap here. Lap number 20 will go to the 98, so that will be credited as a lead change. Not one that happened on track, but AWSCO is the leader. It'll be Yanniga, then Shanta Say will be third, and then Alicantes is all the way back in fourth. And there's fifth in McJasmina. Stoneman, Parkings, Gennaro, Ku, Wandile is the top 10 at the moment.
It'd be interesting to see what lap times the 18 does in comparison to our previous stint. Not the 18.
Oh, the 18 in
Yeah.
comparison. Well, this lap is kind of a wash because...
Yes, but next line, the next lap's gonna be very interesting because maybe the tires don't seem to have a negative effect actually on the lap time, because I don't think there's any car really that has gained on the 18 by staying by coming in, I mean.
Well, let's see. The 6 is 11 seconds behind the 18, but she pitted on the same lap as the 18, so I'm not really sure that that counts. I think the 10 came in a little earlier. And she's, I think, about the same. And the 42, lap time wise, just hasn't been able to match the 18 since the pit stop.
It'll be interesting with the 98.
She's in now.
She scraped what, 2 laps this time? There's 2 laps of the
Extended
of
it
the
for 2
18?
laps. Yeah. And
So-
then the 46 is going to stay out another lap here. Yenfe Yanniga.
If we have four, yeah, we're gonna have 4 pit cycles before the end of this race, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Which, well, that's 8 laps. It's gonna be an 8-lap difference. That's almost a full pit cycle, really.
42 may actually lose a spot to the 38 of Ku here fairly soon. Yatica underneath Schliesenbach. I believe that's for position. Yeah, that's actually for position on the lead lap.
Yeah, these the lead lap is long here, so
42's back in. Well, yeah, the lead lap is about, with the lap times they've been running about 1 minute 40.
40?
So where, or 1 minute 50, excuse me.
Yes. 1 minute 40
Wow,
would have been
okay.
Very quick.
Well, look at this. Look at where the
Oh.
98 cycled out. Oh, she took right side
That's-
tires only. That would explain it.
Oh my, well, the degradation here is basically non-zero then, because 22 laps, well no, because they pitted lap 5, so 18 laps on a set of tires, and they decide to keep 2 of them for another run. That's
It's a
interesting.
choice. That's a choice.
Well, it's not necessarily a bad choice if it can make you gain about 10 seconds. Because I don't think the 18 is going to do that next time, because I don't think the 18 really wants to, because the 18 cannot risk anything because she's in the lead, really.
26
Is-
second
does-
place. There's Chantose. She's second right now.
Has she pitted?
I don't know. I think she's pitted. Whoa, that was okay.
Oh.
I guess the 16 just decided to pit again.
The night.
There's the 98. Yeah, the 98, this car is kind of not hooking itself up. It's not setting itself up right at all, I don't think.
Yeah, maybe the two tire call wasn't great. Because in the end, it was what, it's two and
It
a
was-
half seconds fall off.
Yeah.
So yeah.
These have been the lap times for Yanaga, the 46. So,
Yeah,
you know, her fast lap was a
that's not
155. That's about average. And her last lap was a 158.3, and that was in mostly clean air. I think she might have had a little bit of traffic to deal with, but... I mean, again, the other thing is, if there's a yellow flag, that will change pretty much everything.
Yeah, but considering how they've been racing, if a yellow flag would have happened, I don't think it'd be at the beginning of a cycle, but at the end of a cycle when once everybody has already came into pits. So
Well, I think a yellow flag most likely is not going to be because of an accident. I think it's most likely going to be via someone having a mechanical failure and not being able to make it
Could
back
be.
to the pits.
yeah. Yeah. So
Chantase's in. 26 is in now.
a lot of people in.
A lot of cars in, but these are mostly lappers.
Well, yeah, the thing is, these lappers are on completely different strategies. And at this point, honestly, these lappers probably won't have a chance at the lead, so...
Yeah. All right, Rasha, what's up?
Yeah, right now we're with the 26 team as they're taking 4 tires and fuel. It's pretty routine stop right now for that 26 team. As I'll go ahead and move the camera over to that the 26 round. So just leaving pit lane now. Handling wise, that team is doing pretty well, but at the same time, it's she does have quite a bit of a gap to the leaders to go, I should say, I think, and we'll see where things stand from here. But right now, things looking pretty decent for that 2016. Might still need a yellow to go into contention, but I think that team is setting itself up pretty well so far. That Inverness Racing team looking good as we as the strategy race will continue on. I think things are going to be really interesting as we see cars coming in and taking all sorts of different divergent strategy. I think obviously the 98 we saw taking 2 tires. That was a bit of a gambit to try to maintain track position, and they thought they had the setup nailed down, and doesn't seem to be the case as much right now. She's struggling a little bit to try to get all the 4 tires hooked up, and we'll see where they go from there. But otherwise, that 98 team is doing okay on track position, but pace-wise, it's definitely starting to fall off a bit. I'm not sure why the 42 came in twice. I want to say they came in twice. I'll double check on that. But yeah, that's certainly something that I might take a look at. But yeah, the strategy game right now looks pretty interesting. The 18's obviously got control of things. They've taken control of things so far, but we'll see what happens as we see the 31 coming in here. We might take a look at what's going on with that team. All right, see you.
Right, thank you. That was a pit report from Russia. 25 laps into this race, and it is a 26-second lead for the number 46 of Yafi Yanaga. Pronunciation may be correct, maybe not.
Yenfi Yanaga.
There you go. And at this point, it's interesting that 46 just on a completely different strategy. And I'm thinking about it. Could be interesting, because if we go green until the end of this race, 46 might be well placed enough that if they're smart enough about their pit stops and their strategy, they could just stay out enough and not pit in until the end of this race and do one stop less than everyone and win it that way. Maybe.
We'll see what she does. I have a feeling she'll probably be coming in very soon. If she hasn't pitted yet, I think she'll probably be in pretty soon. And
well,
by
now.
pretty soon, I mean now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's in, and I believe that will hand the lead back to the 18. Takes about 40-ish seconds to get on and off the pit road, so her stall is before the line, so she won't lead it. She won't get credit for leading another lap. The 18 of Alicantes will.
This is a very, very short pit lane for a road coaster because you do skip the first turn entirely here.
You skip the first
and the final chicane too.
Yeah, you skip both of the chicanes on the front. I mean, it's kind of a.
Well, the first turn isn't a chicane, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I guess it's very in a very technical sense, it's a chicane, but
that's not. Well, no, a chicane. The chicane is a section of is a.
It is a
right, left, or left, right between two straights. Ooh, that 55 just
52.
Disrespecting the 10. 50, 52, whatever. There are numbers.
10 car fighting with the 98, trying to take second away. These two are about 9 seconds back of the 18. Where did the 46 cycle out? Oh, that's where she cycled out.
Far. Oh.
She took 4 tires as well, so.
Now she's gonna probably be able to eat that gap up, and then
Yeah, she has much fresher tires than the 18 has, so.
She might be I don't know, but honestly she might be 6-7 seconds away from the lead, and that's catchable easily.
Did the 26 come in normally? No.
Oh, no.
No, she did not.
Well, that's the end of the good run.
Oh, she was racing the 13 of Waterton. Got into the 13. They both spun. I think she got stuck in the sand trap.
The crowd is booing. The crowd is booing there.
And that's not a caution because where she stopped was not on the track, so that is not considered the racing surface, so that's not a yellow flag. Probably to the disappointment of a lot of people in the crowd.
Yeah, that was kind of I don't think there's going to be extra security needed for. I don't remember who that was. That driver, was it 13? It was. Waterton.
Waterton.
Yeah. I think Waterton's going to have to have extra security after this race.
Probably. Not even really sure that was Waterton's fault entirely, but it doesn't really matter.
The 46 is
2.5 seconds back.
that's wow.
Now keep in mind that
That's
that's
what it's second
yeah.
that's here. It's between second distance. One mistake from the 18 and
Now keep in mind as
Yeah.
well, the 46's lap time. We don't really have an idea of what the 46 is running lap time wise because, well, she just came out of the pit road that last lap. In fact, that was her out lap, and it was a 2:01, which I'm pretty sure is a pretty fast out lap, but I don't know.
well, they didn't have any traffic too, so that's probably why.
Yeah, well, yeah, she did not have traffic to deal with. 10 cars gotten up to third here. You got the 6 of... well, they've released the 26, so the 26 is back on the track. I think.
It's out of
Have they,
contention.
have they released the 26? Oh, yes, yes, they have.
Well, there we go.
Is she a lap down? Yes, she is a lap down. Okay. I couldn't tell. This track is weird, and I've had cars literally do lap skip, like skip a lap by towing to the pit road.
Well, you know, it's we've got a very quick marshal crew here, and track staff is very efficient.
Oh, the 98!
Oh,
Big trouble. She
and it's
stopped.
stopping. There we go. That's the caution.
There's the yellow. Well,
Oh,
there's the
what a bad spot.
there's the well, there's the caution that I don't think the 18 wanted.
And I mean, at this point, everybody had done their. See, that's what happened. Everybody had done their pit stop, so it's not. At least it's so it was a normal racing order, and we had a. Did we have
Oh,
a
90,
puncture too?
91. Very slow down the back straightaway. I think she's gonna make it to the pit road. I hope nobody
Yeah.
runs into her.
What? Okay, yeah, she's. oh
Okay,
my-
whatever. Well, she made it to the pit road.
Well, she made it to the pit road. She just didn't come in the pits, I guess. So. You do wave around for everyone here.
When pit cycles when everything cycles out.
Yeah. Might be interesting for some of these lap cars to just try to stay in. And well, stay out. I mean, and maybe
Yeah,
try to get in their back.
once we get
I think the
everybody
26.
Once we get everybody
26 would
cycled
be
out,
one block.
so it'll be it's the top 10 wave around. So anybody between cars in the top 10 get waved around. Any lap cars in between the top 10, I should say. Rariston got the
And
free
Michael
pass.
Luggy.
I'm not sure. The 26 has only one lap down, but I don't know where she is cycle-wise. In fact, I think she might be at the back here. I'm not sure if she's in between cars in the top 10. Hey, Ellie, what happened on the 98?
Alright, so the 98, she's got some engine damage, and the pit crew's still looking into it. Hopefully she'll make it back on, but our Willow Springs winner, she's got some engine damage to... Hopefully her pit crew can get it resolved.
Najar Saraj, she's run very good on the road courses all year. But, you know, Bathurst, she had an engine issue. She was down a cylinder. She actually finished that race, but she finished it, I think, multiple laps down. You know, Willow Springs, she won. Road America, which is our last road course race, she got involved in an incident, I believe, and was not able to finish. But that's our runner-up from last week in Charlotte as well. So.
Well, you know, that's the thing here at the road cars is that they're very tough on the engines because instead of shifting around.
You're shifting a lot.
Yeah, you're really just. So yes, it's especially for people like Europeans that don't necessarily have a lot of stock car experience. Could would be an an adaptation to do, and really split strategy here. That's interesting.
Yeah, split strategy here. So wave arounds will be done this lap, but we're gonna it won't be until everyone cycles out. So Alicantes leads Yanaga. Rasha, what's up?
Yep, I think that looks like just a bunch of cars further down on the lead lap taking a bit of a gamble here. I mean, if you're at the edge of the lead lap, might as well come in, get some tires, make some adjustments to the car, fill up. I think that's what we're going to end up seeing, as most of these cars that came in seem to have done so, at least taken one side of tires and filled up as much as possible, maybe fixed a bit of damage. And under caution, of course, the penalty for that's not going to be as much time-wise, so that's we'll see what happens for those teams.
Yeah. If you're at the end, you really should come in. If you're just the edge of the top.
What is the 62 doing?
Yeah, like if you're the edge of like the top 20 and below, you need to come in because like you've got nothing to lose. There's gonna be lap cars between you and the leaders anyway. There's really no reason not to come in.
34 is on the lead lap.
But I will say, I think that the 42 staying out and sticking with the leaders the first time was really part of the reason why we saw so many people staying out, because
26
it really seems like there's no.
Will get the wave round. Okay, so 18, 46, 6, 34, 10, 55, 21. 93. I don't know where the 18 is going, but
They're doing their best. What? I think it's the 26. I'm just confused here.
the 18's blocking the 26 for whatever reason.
Well, you know, the 26 could just go to the left, really. It's not... Oh, and now it's gonna block the 93 as well. Oh my goodness. What a bunch of children.
Whoa, the 46!
Oh no! Oh, something has gone terribly wrong. 46 gone. And we're not gonna go green then. Yeah, we're not going green because we've got a car that just spun out. Second, oh no. Don't tell me it's one of the lap cars, please. But yeah, at least it means that everybody that got waved around will be able to get really to the end of the line there.
Well, Yanaga's just sold it, because she definitely had a car that was competitive with the 18, and
Might have just pressed on the gas.
I think she's ended her own race.
Yeah, that was a really dumb mistake here. But sometimes drivers crack under pressure when they're in big situations like these ones, and
It might have been because she was trying to pit because I think one of those cars that was one of the cars that was waving around ran into the back end of the 46, but still.
very curious as to what happened.
We've gone up to 31 cars on the lead lap here.
That was the main really challenger. The car that really seemed to be on par with the 18 too, and so that's gonna be.
Yeah.
I mean, it gives a chance to, you know, the 6
McJasmina.
McJasmina, and to the 34, and everybody else behind that. But it's yeah, I mean. At least it reminds everybody that this this race is yeah, to always be careful even when you're under a pace car, because especially because I do think that what happened to McShamina is just that not to McShamina, I mean to
Yanaga, the 46.
Yeah, is that she just like probably went on the curb, pressed the gas too early, and then yeah, spun around because there was no grip on that part of the racetrack really. But yeah,
it's so easy to lose it there under slow speed. It's just it grips very well when you're, you know, driving at speed, but it does not grip if you're trying to stay slow. It's a very strange corner. And it's bid again.
Yep.
All these cars.
All of champions. Indirectly claiming another victim, but not in the usual way.
All right, pace car will be off for real this time. Top 10 are all split. The top 10 are all next to each other, so there were no extra wave rounds. Green flag. Waves here. We're back underway here from Montreal. Here comes the 34. Harina looking to the outside on the 6. She's going to take the second spot. Oh, the 10.
Bad start for the 6.
Couple red racing cars right there. The 10, the 21, and the 10. We may see a challenge for the lead fairly shortly. The 34, Harina's moving. She is here on Alicantes.
I think here just going to the outside might be the best move out here. Actually, the safest one.
You want to go to the outside here in the bridge chicane, but she's gonna dive to the inside.
Ooh, that's. She can make it work if she
gets clear.
Ahead.
If she gets clear, she cleared. Lead change. Mika Harina now out front. Third place is Stoneman. Wandio's up to 4th. You got McJasmina 5th, Ku, Garnston, Parkings, AWSCO, and Ijavida. Yeah, Yanaga is officially out of the race, so.
Oh wow! So okay, the head to the wall must have been major here.
It's that wall is pretty terminal if you hit it, so.
Well, it is pure concrete.
I think one thing we may also see here with the 18, 18's chose to stay out there on that last yellow. That might bite her because most of the lead lap cars did come down and pit.
It may. I mean, again, we saw the 42 be able to stick it out in front, but yeah, that 18 doesn't seem to have the same pace at all, and yeah, she might be in a bit of trouble here if she doesn't pick up the pace.
Well, we did get a lead change. It just wasn't the driver we were expecting to take the lead away from the 18.
Yeah, Arena. Did we see anything out of Arena in this race?
Not really. I mean,
No?
she's kind of been running up here for a little bit, but haven't really seen much out of that 34. But she's the first driver who's actually passed the 18 under green here, so. And not on pit road. Wandayo takes 3rd away from Stoneman. We're going to see a Latin American battle here between Alicantes and Wandayo.
Not if Stoneman has a word to say about it. Which
I
you
mean-
don't because you completely sold that corner.
I mean, California might as well be Latin America. Have you seen how many people that speak only Spanish live there?
All right. Well, Quebec's kind of Latin America too. Have you seen how many people speak a Latin-based language in there?
True. We're in Latin
So
America.
many
We're in
people
Latin
speak
America right
Latin.
now.
University towns are really not in America because there's a lot of people that speak Latin there.
Wendayo takes the second spot. Stoneman trying to take third. There's contact between her and Alicantes, but Stoneman will grab that spot.
Yeah, it's so tight of a corner here, and then going to the inside and the exit of the chicane is just not the place to be at all.
I'd also like to point out, the 21 is running like this. She's running second right now. That car does not have a bumper cover on it. The rear bumper cover is gone from that car, and she's running this fast, just without it.
Yeah. Well, that's
Well, she got the wall there, so
getting around fast here, even if you don't have the greatest era, it just messes you up in the corner often.
yeah.
Look at that front too. That's not normal too. So
No, it's
a
not.
lot of damage on that 21.
Yeah, she's making it work though. Wendayo's been interesting this year because she's run fast in a lot of races, but she just hasn't really been particularly good at finishing races out. She's 28th in the points right now, but she had a second place finish back at Bristol. That's one of only 2 top 10s she has on the season, which fairly disappointing considering that she's in she's driving for one of the best teams on the grid in Red Racing.
Might be on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Hey, we're starting to get a bit closer to that time of the year. So
I mean, yeah, we've already
Exactly.
heard, there's already been driver changes that have been made in the Continental Series, so
well, yeah, but the Continental Series, there's always gonna be driver changes there. I think it's sort of Continental Series is you make it or you don't make it. I don't think there's a lot of space, just because it's such a easy to entry level series. Really, it's very easy to enter, so you can really just
yeah.
put anyone in there, and
Yeah.
give them a few races, and they'll run fine if they're a good driver.
What is going on back here? That's Nancy
Montreal.
fighting with Wesco.
That's what's going on. Just
I mean,
Montreal.
the start of this race, fairly interesting. The start of this
Ooh.
race,
The 10 hit the wall really hard there.
was fairly kind of, we had a few cars pull away, but, the cautions have kind of brought the field back in with each other. And I think the other thing as well is that, what the yellows have done is they've brought the cars that have gotten better during the race back in to the fold. They've gotten them to be, back towards the front where they can be a lot more competitive.
Yes, because it's very easy to get 20, 30 seconds back here, and once you do that, good luck without a caution to come back, because even if you can gain a few seconds in a lap because somebody messes up, if they're leading the race, they're probably not making that many mistakes to begin with, so.
Well, 34, I don't know if she's been making mistakes or not, but the 21 is really closing. 21 is almost here.
I think the 34 is just not up base because.
Well, yeah,
when
she
you see
stayed
the
out as
car-
well. She stayed out on the last yellow as well, so
Well, yeah, she stayed out, and
Wendayo
honestly-
pitting.
Yeah,
So these two are on different tires.
yes, but even without that, she stayed out, but she wasn't really up front to begin with, so
Yeah.
it's not like she had proven to have a lot of space. I think she was just in a good place in a good moment, and again, the leader is when you're in clean air here, you can gain a bit of time, but yeah, that 21 gained 2 seconds on the last lap, and it wasn't because of a mistake. So that
Yeah, I don't think the
34 has
34
their seconds counted.
I don't think the 34 is, I think the 34 is just kind of behind the ball on pace right now.
Yeah.
Well, Gennaro is back in the game now, and she's actually starting to kind of climb up through here with a. She's battling the 1 of Vancy.
That was a move that we just. That's what I think these drivers trying to gauge the space they have. A street course like this, because you really don't have enough. So that's why you see some drivers really just waving around and they're braking like they wouldn't usually at a road course because they're good people. But here they're kind of forced to, because you don't know if you have a gap unless you really try to push it to the maximum. But
And,
that 21 needs to overtake.
this is probably about the narrowest road course we go to. This is probably about the one that has the least amount of room to maneuver.
Well, Bathurst is pretty.
That's true. In the mountain section specifically at Bathurst, yeah, I agree. Basically everything not on the massive straightaways at Bathurst, essentially. This track is pretty narrow all the way around.
The thing is that Bathurst is really more of a technical challenge, as this racetrack is just pure, just pure racing.
Yeah.
Normal racing.
Well, this track is kind of like Monza in a way. It's a lot of straightaways with a bunch of chicanes, really.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically where the comparisons stop, but yes, it's a bit
yeah.
like Monza in a way.
Here comes One Dial, looks to the inside. And this chicane is an interesting move. They're going to stay side by side.
If she was able to stick it out, she could have used that reacceleration here, and that's going to give her the worst spot in this, in these S's, though. Well, in these S, because
she's going to clear.
Wow, okay.
She got the pull off, I think. She got a really good burst. She got a really good drive through the corner. So new leader is the 21 of Amani One Dial.
The 10 is not gaining time here. So it's I think it's just the 21 that's that quick. There's no one really gaining that much time in the top 5, let's say, the leaders that have a chance to catch up.
Well, let's see. The lap times of the last lap. The 21 ran a 157.4, the 34 ran a 157.6, the 10 ran a 157.8. So, and then you go all the way back here, and they're running about 2-minute laps here, so.
Yeah.
And we'll accept the 32 who ran a 159. Sophie Chantese is actually up into 17th now. She's actually gained quite a few positions since she managed to get back on the lead lap. 34 is in.
Ooh.
Harina's coming down pit road. I think that may be the tires may be going on that one.
Well, I think it might have been, I stay out as long as I can while I'm in the lead, and then I come in, because there's no point.
The two,
I think
the two towed.
Ooh. At least the 2 stopped at a smart place. What was that?
The 2 did stop off the track, so not a yellow.
Yeah, the two did. And actually do a smart move, and then I don't know, spun around to give the fans a show.
Yeah, got bored. 4 seconds
she
back.
Wasn't going to win, so.
Stoneman gained on the 21 that lap, but also the other thing as well is that the 21 was passing a car that lap, so.
Yes.
Probably
they were
not.
They were in relatively equal lap times before, so a bit faster for the 21. So.
Meika Gennaro has actually moved up to 5th now. Since the 34 came to pit road, the 42 is actually in the 5th position. Sinley Rareston, who got the free pass on the last caution, is in 10th.
Yeah, we've had quite a bit of shuffling the midfield apparently.
Yeah, the midfield's been very interesting. The front of the field's kind of not been that interesting in this race, but the midfield very interesting, very competitive back there.
Well, the midfields where you get sort of these massive
Clusters.
clusters and really time differences between drivers. Because the midfield is a way more
21's
reliant
pitting.
on track position as the 21's pitting than the rest of the field.
That's a bit early, but the 10 is coming in as well.
Oh,
18 stays out.
the 18 stays out. Wow.
Yeah, so
18's really pushing it again.
18, 38 now into second. 42 is third. The 1 of Vancy, I believe, is fourth. And then fifth is the 60, the 19, 32, 20. And we'll see what the cycle looks like. It looks like the 21 will cycle out in 10th position. So Alicante's back to the race lead here at lap 38.
Would not expect this to hold though.
Well, yeah, this is part of the pit cycle here.
It'll definitely be interesting to see how long the 18 stays out. Because she didn't pit.
There's the 38 of Ku. Here's the 42 of Gennaro. Asha, what's up?
Well, 21 actually came in. That was a little bit unexpected because I think the 21 was reporting some sort of slow puncture, Juan Dayo. Juan Dayo was reporting some sort of slow puncture in that car, so they elected to bring that car in right away for obvious reasons, but I think they were planning to stay out for a few more laps. That car was running pretty decently despite everything, as we see. I think the 18's coming in. I could see that car just rolling into pit lane now, so I guess the pit cycle has started, but yeah, a bit unlucky for the 21 with that tire down, but at least it happened in a pit cycle, I guess, so that's not too bad for her.
This is about where the 18 pitted last time. She pitted about 19 laps into the run. And it's been 19 laps since lap 19. So
We've had a caution, so.
yeah, there's been a caution, but she did stay out on that caution.
Yeah, that's the thing. So the tire wear
Yeah, true.
should have been lower. But at the same time, you had a restart more, so
Yeah.
that means.
Well, you know
push
who-
harder.
Well, you know who that's put in the lead? The 42 of Mika Gennaro. Remember how
That's not gonna stay.
she kind of looked like she might have been out of the race. Yeah, she's back up into the lead. She's actually been really fast since the start of this run specifically. Shanta Say's into the top 10 now. She's actually 9th right now. Her teammate is actually right behind her, Michele Yazuka, in 10th spot. There's Harina sitting back behind both of these two in 11th. You know, this has been an interesting race. There's been a lot of change in strategy, but there's also been a lot of change in who the fast car is. And I think that's made this quite fun.
Yes, and I mean, we say that like we're coming close to the end of this race. We're not even halfway.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing. These road course races can often be so action-packed. At least have the storylines change so quickly around here. More than the action, but the storylines change so quickly then you forget that this race started, what, an hour and a half ago? An hour ago? It's
Yeah, hour and a half.
an hour and a half, so it's you know, still pretty young. Oof. I'm surprised here that there hasn't been anyone really running anyone off the road outside from one or two incidents. Because they're really just going bumper to bumper, and that's usually not the kind of racing you would see at a road course. Ouch. Was big hit to the wall.
I mean,
for
we
a
may see even
17.
more bumper to bumper action next week because we're in Most Sport, and that track is at Most Sport the big story at Most Sport is going to be the tires. They wear out almost 13 seconds at the end of the run.
Well, the thing at Mossport is that I don't think it'll be bumper to bumper. It might be door to door, but it might not be bumper to bumper because a lot of fast sweeping corners, which is Mossport and Montreal are basically the reverse of each other.
Yeah.
Montreal's a long straights with very technical and slow corners.
Kind of like
Mossport is just a bunch of fast S's, basically.
they're the reverse of each other, kind of like Ontario and Quebec.
Yeah.
Quebec is good, by the way.
By the way, it's time for a fan segment. We want to say hi to Liam watching this race.
26 is trying to hold the 34 behind her. Shantase trying to hold Harina back here. There's Stoneman kind of sitting back behind this group as well. Yatika back here. Sky and Jetta. She's not on the lead lap, but I think she's kind of worked her issues out. She had a lot of issues with coming to pit road at she kept coming down pit road, and it put her behind the 8 ball a bit, but she's managed to get back to 1 lap down. If there's another caution, Jetta's in a great spot to get back on the lead lap as Harina moves past Shantase for the 7th position. Handstrom down pit road, so that it's actually for the 4th position. Where's the 42? Did the 42 come down pit road?
I think it did.
No. Okay.
Oh wow. Okay.
I think
far ahead.
I think it was the where the not the cycle, but I think it was where the cameras were placed that made it so that I couldn't find where she was. There's been
I
weather.
can't see what you're talking about. The cameras around here are so great.
Keep in mind that
good.
these are my updated cameras. The
Oh,
old cameras
God.
the old cameras are actually worse.
Good lord. Yes, worse than that.
You can see where she is. They're great, aren't they?
Yeah, they're incredible.
I don't see the issue. Look, my cameras aren't the best, but they're at least better than that.
No. Yeah. Well, it's the difference between a professional broadcast and just a bunch of fans around the circuit placed, in spectators areas.
What is this? A sprint car Facebook live stream?
No, it's local racing at Delaware Speedway on the Rogers TV.
Oh, true. I mean, we are going to Delaware Speedway next week.
In the Continental?
Yeah, Continental.
Right? Yeah. I would hope so.
Continental doesn't go to road courses because reasons.
We don't trust young people at road courses.
I think it's more a thing of the Continental Series doesn't go to road courses because the whole point of Continental is to get the drivers internationally acclimated to the oval tracks, which of course means that there's more drivers in Continental that are international that are not international than in Cup, but
Well, we gotta get Americans acclimated to oval tracks. They're not used to it.
Yeah.
So the continent we're referring to obviously is Asia. So continental.
Nah, it's Europe.
Yeah. We're almost halfway here.
Yeah, we're fairly close to halfway.
42's leading. Lap 42. Well, unless she pits now.
Well, I mean, she could still... Actually, I don't even know where her pit stall is. And up, she stays out. She's going to lead. She's going to lead the lap. All right. Well, all right. Valicia Vancy in the 1 car.
They have points for laps slide and most laps slide here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's still important leading those laps. The 42 has already led a bunch of laps. So
Well, I think right now most laps led is the 18.
Yeah, it probably would be, but if the 42 stays off cycle like this in a major way, could ultimately rack up
26 is in.
Enough laps.
26 is in. She's a bit off cycle, so.
I think there's not really a clear cycle right now in general. So.
34 actually has passed the 21 on the track.
Oh,
so.
wow.
So.
You get damage coming back to the 21.
Maybe. It could be also that they're on pretty much the same tires now. Ooh, 21's gonna get the wall. The 6 of McJasmina as well. You got the 38 of Koo. How about Rariston in 8th spot? Again, on that last yellow, she took the free pass.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the joy of the free pass around a more chaotic racetrack is that it really can.
It can benefit
make
you.
Fight. Can maybe even make you fight for that race seat because she's what. Realistically, once the 42 pits and the 1 pits, it's gonna be.
It's gonna be the 34-21 and the 10.
It's gonna be about 20 seconds off that race lead, which, in 40 laps around here, you can still make up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're gonna see if the 42 comes in, but I don't think she will. Well, what? They pitted around lap 34, 35? When was the last caution? Where did I type yellow?
I think it was later, before that, right? I think you missed the yellow. There you go.
Oh no, here's where it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Lap 26. Okay.
Yes, it's a bit later than that. So, oh my goodness, that means the 42 has been on a.
Sorry, lap 26. No, not lap 26.
18 lap. Oh.
It was 28. Okay.
Okay, yeah, a bit more reasonable.
Yeah, just a bit. So 28.
Slightly.
It's been what? 40 lap, or it's been 20. It's been 16 laps. The tire window here is about 20, 25 laps, somewhere around there. That's where we've seen most cars come down. I think we've seen a few cars extend the window a little bit longer, but it's going to be mostly around 20 to 22 laps. Maybe a little earlier. Might see the 42 come in a bit earlier. I'd be very interested to see, because very few of those cars pitted around, what, lap 38, 39? I think they may have pitted a little earlier than that. I can scroll up and check. Yeah, 35. Okay, 36,
So it's
excuse
gonna be a
me.
massive differential once
Yeah, 36.
42 comes out of the pits.
So those cars
So
would
pit
still have to
stopping-
two-stop. If she comes in at lap 48. Okay, so she'd still have to. So I believe she'd still have to two-stop if she comes in at lap 48. But if she can extend the window about two laps on each remaining on this stint. And the
Now,
next
keep
one,
in mind, it's very hard to extend the window
one car's
here
in.
because there's not really that much fuel being spent per lap here in general, and really you can really gain. You can only really gain a bit of a fuel on like 3 corners, and those are the 3 most important corners because they're all before huge straights.
Yeah.
The only real spot where you can gain fuel effectively is here, without losing too much time. And
Yeah.
even that's not that much fuel, so it's gonna be very hard for anyone to really try to extend. But I think the 42 right now is just praying for anyone to have a mechanical failure.
Yeah, if she has a, if she's able to extend the window by about 2 laps, she could one stop it. But I think I don't think a one stop strat would work. Well, she could one stop it from the next time she comes in.
The issue is now what the team is thinking. Are they thinking we've got a chance at winning this if we do a 2-stopper? If we don't, then we should do a 1-stopper. There's nothing because that's 34. What do they have to lose really right now? What, a top 10?
42 is in. Yeah.
Alright.
So I believe they're gonna go for a 2-stopper here.
Well, yeah, there's no chance in. Yeah.
'64 and 22 have apparently also retired from the race. So is the 96. Let's see if we can find what happened there. But that's the points
If
leader.
that's the caution, that could be. Oh.
This would happen like 5-6 laps ago. So.
So long for the Kush target.
64 and 22. They made some contact there. Oh, 64 got checked up. I think this is where it happens.
Oh no, don't tell me. Oh no. It's just a normal pit stop.
Oh, okay. I don't know why the 22 retired. And maybe she just gave up.
Well, yeah.
As the 42 is in, so we'll see the 34 is going to cross the line, take the lead. Harina back out front here from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal. So my excessively awful French was on display there.
I love how you said Montreal. It's like the exact opposite.
Well, I said it in like half French, half English. Which is honestly pretty fitting for Montreal, to be fair.
It'd be like half French, half English, and one letter is pronounced in a completely different language.
Yeah. Six car of McJasmine has also come in here. Gennaro cycles out third, so she cycled out ahead of the 21, but behind the 10. 21, just has not been keeping pace.
Well, I think the 21 might just not, on the equal tires might just not have the pace because of that damage.
Yeah.
Really. It's gonna be very much hurting on the outside of corners, probably.
The one car is up in 5th. There's the 38, 60, and 18. They're all fighting for the 6th position right here. Carly Byrne is in 10th right now. That's a pretty good run for the 9 car. There's Chantasse in 11th. Just kind of hanging back at the moment. Yeah, now the 42 is going to be on the freshest tires.
Now the 42 is got to be very careful to not hit anyone.
Yeah, she's got to be careful to not get into anybody.
Because that's going to be, what, a 2-second difference probably between most of these drivers. Let's see where she comes out of.
she lost time, but to be fair, that was also an outlap, and she also had to deal with
Yeah.
the 27 there.
And
Fastest
once
lap.
she passes that,
Yeah, fastest lap still belongs to this 10 car. But not really sure for how long. We have crossed halfway here, so cross flags have been displayed. And after an hour 44 minutes, I guess more like 39 because of the 5-minute start time. We are halfway in this one. Been 2
Are we
cautions
going
so
to-
far.
fan drill studio or not? At
We
all?
will. We're just gonna
Okay.
wait. We're just gonna.
We're
I just
we're waiting for everyone to come into the studio. Yes, 'cause-
I just offset it a little bit to give people time.
Alright.
42.
People
Looking to the
should not
inside
be
on the
allowed.
10.
I think that 42 wanted to. I'm having a stroke. The 42 once she passes the 10, will probably easily go back to the 34. So I think that 34's best wishes is for the 10 to really block that 42.
The 42 might have got a little bit of damage kind of running up on the 10 there. She was all over the back bumper and couldn't get by. Shanta Say is up into 10th spot now.
The crowd roars. Of
You know, for-
nobody.
You know, for where she was, I think that's very respectable.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, if there's another caution, she's not out of it.
Yeah.
She's not out of it. And you know, if the way this race has gone is anything to go by, we're likely to get another caution. Not impossible we go green the whole way, but we're likely to get another caution.
42 is all over the 10 here. She really wants to,
I think that the 42 did not expect the 10 to be that slow off the corner.
yeah. She's gonna
And
go
there
for
we
the
go.
spot here. Oh, just tapped the wall with the quarter panel there, but didn't lose her any speed.
And she'll do it before the actual turn. Wow.
Yep, gets in,
That's
takes second away. Interesting to note is that she was behind the 10 that whole time, and she still gained on the 34. 155.8, 34 ran a 156.3. All right, well, we're halfway home here from Montreal, so we're going to send it down to Rasha and Ellie in the FanDuel Fan Studio. What do you two have for us? What do you two think of how this race has gone so far?
Hello and welcome to the welcome back, I should say, to the FanDuel Fan Studio for our mid-race report. We'll go to our leader here on camera. It's the 34 of Mika Haurina leads as we're just a little over halfway, 48 laps in. 34 took advantage of the that one caution we had earlier on the restart. Went past the 18 of Perry Alicantes and has not looked back ever since. She now holds a 9.23 second lead on our second and third place battle, which we saw just earlier here. That's Mika Gennaro and Audie Stoneman in the number 10 and number 10 and 42 respectively. I should say they've switched positions now, and it's Gennaro in front of Stoneman, as you'll see on the timing screen there. I'm now joined with Ellie, I believe. Not sure of what happened to Eddie. I don't think Eddie's here anymore. I think he may have gotten vaporized again. Well, we'll figure things out with Eddie. He seems to be more and more of a supernatural being as opposed to anything else. So, yeah, Ellie. Nice to see you here. Of course, you had to come in a bit you had to come in the last minute on a very short notice. So, came right in the middle of the race. But yeah, how have you been enjoying the race so far? I think it's been a pretty interesting event. Lots of strategy so far.
Yeah, I've been enjoying the race so far. It's been pretty interesting, especially through the midfield, seeing a lot of position changes, even lead changes. I've enjoyed the racing a lot so far, especially from the 42, the 18, 34 as well. Did my mic cut out?
No, you're good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. as we're watching right now, the 42 of Gennaro is just pulling away quite a bit, quite a ways here from the 10 of Stoneman. We'll take a look at the rest of the top 10. The field is quite strung out here, so it's going to take quite a bit to get to these X cars. There's the 21 of Wandaya, who's been pretty strong as well. Been fighting that rear end damage pretty much the entire race, but she's dealt with it quite well and still runs in the top 5 as things stand. As we look at her try to pass the lap car of the 27 of Guardston, using that bumper on entry there. Can't quite get there yet, but soon she we'll see if she can get past relatively quickly, because the car chasing her right here is number 1 in 5th place. That's Felicia Vancy, the MNC racing car. Really good run by that one car. We do tend to see I think this wouldn't be the first time that we see the one run well at a road course. I think she ran quite well at Willow Springs near the beginning of the season, so keeping things up, that number 1 car, Vancy, yes, she did get an 8th place finish there, and that was part of a streak of top 10s that she had in that kind of early part of the season. She still hasn't gotten a top 10 since then, so very good run. This would be her best finish of the season so far, and her first top 5 if she keeps this up. Going outside the top 10, there's her teammate, the 71, who's just kind of running somewhere. 26th, normal day for the 71, I think. Here's a battle for 6th. It's a set of teammates, the Gulf Racing cars, the 60 and the 38 of Wesco and Koo, respectively. Youngwei Koo's been hanging on pretty well. Has started just outside the top 10 and has delivered pretty decently here. She still sits in 7th place and on for a good run as well. Emery Wesco, similarly, I should say, doing pretty okay for herself. The 2 Gulf Racing cars definitely picking up the pace in the last few weeks, I think. Let's double check that. I know the 38's been on pretty... I know the 60, I should say, has been on pretty good form. 13 to 2 top 20 finishes for them in the last 3 weeks. And 2 top 10s as well for the 38 in the last 4 races. So, yeah, good races for the these two. And hopefully for Gulf Racing, this pretty decent streak of finishes continues on for them. And as we now look at the local here, the 26 of Sophie Chantasse, she is back on the lead lap now, albeit a minute off the leader. But considering the incident she had earlier, where she had to be towed out of the way and towed back to her pit stall, and she lost a lap doing so. So far, that 8's had a pretty good recovery as things stand. Running in the top 10 on the lead lap again. We'll see what kind of finish she could gather from this. If we get a caution, I think all bets are off. And the last 2 cars in the top 10, they're right behind her, the 32 and the 9. The 32 here sitting in 9th place, just past the 9 of Carly Byrne for position. 32 of Celia Rairston, who hasn't had a top 10 since her 2 wins, so her form has definitely dipped quite a bit. Her last 3 races were 27th, 38th, and 33rd, all retirements, I believe. So, yeah, a really good run of form, followed by a little bit of a dip, but now starting to pick things back up, sitting in 9th. And I want to see if these guys are fighting for position. They are, 72 and 6, just passed. This is the battle for 10th now, as McJasmina passes the 72 of Parkings, and that'll put the 9 of Carly Byrne down to 12th now. This is a pretty interesting battle here. I guess we'll focus on this for now, and I think the 92 is also fighting for position. So this little stretch of cars here, all the way down from... Oh, as we see, someone hit the grass. I think that was Chantasse getting forced out wide by the 32 of Rairston. Things are heating up here, and that 26 car has seen her fair share of rough racing from pretty much everyone else here. We see the 6 now of Sophie Chantasse. McJasmina trying to pass Chantasse as the 3 of Marino hits the wall. 72 hits the wall as well. I'm not sure if you've been paying attention to the strategy game so far, Ellie. What have you been thinking of that so far?
I mean, I really like what I'm seeing in the midfield so far. A lot of tight spaces between each other. They're fighting
I'm
constant.
some changes. I think the 34 is in pit lane. No, the 34. No, what's going on there? Sorry about this. I just saw a lead Yeah, I saw a lead change for position. The 42 passed the 34 on track. That was an on-track
Oh, wow.
pass, and I don't think pit lane was involved there. As we were focusing on the battle for 9th, these two cars were making the 42 was making up ground, and now she's back up to the lead. And, well, speaking of strategy, this 42 seems to be on the good... This strategy for the 42 is starting to bear fruit, as she now encroaches upon a pack of lap cars. Yeah, go ahead, what were you saying?
Well, I was saying how I'm really digging the strategy from a lot of the midfield cars. They're very aggressive and getting pretty close next to each other, trying to battle each other for moving up in positions. I'm really enjoying the racing I'm seeing from some of these midfield cars. I think their strategies are on lock so far.
Yeah.
But with the 42, I really like her strategy so far in the entire race. She's been up here.
Yeah, she of course used that first caution to stay out and gain track position, and that kind of offset her compared to everyone else. But since we got that second caution, things have kind of been a wash, and the 42 is kind of solidified her place up front, and right now she finds herself leading. Southwest Racing still looking. Southwest Racing, Southwest Racing, I think, are still looking for their first race win in AWSCO right now. So this might be a really big race for that team. And could you imagine if it's the 42 of Gennaro that does it? This is a car that has not been running well all season. She sits 38th in the standings with only 2 top 10s, and those were at Pocono and Bathurst. So she does have some some of the little success she's had has come at the road courses, and Bathurst was a bit of a similar affair strategy-wise. Lots of divergent strategies, cars kind of coming in at whenever they felt like it, and kind of running their own race, basically. We'll see if the 42 can really take advantage of this, but right now she's up in the lead. As we go
Yeah,
through,
she's doing pretty great so far.
yeah, she's pulled off.
If I was on her team, I would be pretty happy with the results so far. If she can hold this down, this would be a big win for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would be a big win for Southwest, especially for Mika Gennaro. As we scroll through the rest of the top 10 again. The battle for 10th now between Shantose, Parkings, and Yatica. Good race for both Inverness cars as well. The 26 and 92 are both, well, I was going to say both in the top 10, but they're actually 10th and about to be 11th here if Yatica can pass Parkings. So 10th and 12th as things stand, but that's another good, speaking of Toyota teams that need a boost, that Inverness Racing stable is another team that needs that kind of uptick in performance. Yatica has been performing a little bit better as of late. 2 top 10s in her last 2 races, and trying to get a third, and starts to make it 3 for 3. Here as she's trying to pass Parkings, but ooh, it's going to get tight because the 93 of Tosa was right there. That's going to work to her advantage. Using that lap car on the outside is a bit of a pick. Force the 72 to the inside. That'll be 11th for Yatica.
That was close, and that's some of the racing I was referring to earlier that I've been really interested in and honestly intrigued by. We've been seeing a lot of tight, narrow spaces like that, and these drivers, some of them are making out of it really well, and some of them are crashing and burning.
Yeah.
Overall,
I think
it's
that's
been
one of
pretty
the
interesting.
observations that I've made is that these cars are sliding around a lot. I'm not sure what kind of tire compound Goodyear brought to this track, but whatever it is making things difficult for these drivers. I'll definitely say that. We've seen everything, all sorts of accidents happen, whether they're under green or under yellow. The cars seem to be at threat of spinning out at any point in time. And it really does. I knew the high drag factor is going to slow these cars down quite a bit, but it really does look like these cars are driving on ice. These tires don't seem to be particularly grippy, and that's definitely proved to be a major challenge for these drivers.
I would agree with your point. Maybe the tire setups just weren't set up for this track.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, I'm not entirely privy to the details of the road course compounds they have. As you watch this battle, I believe this is for 13th or something like that between the 2 Mason Parker cars. 14th between the 19 and the 18. As you see the 9 of Carly Byrne come in, and the 92-6. I think we have started another pit cycle here for those cars in the top, at the edge of the top 10. The performance of the Mason Parker cars in the race hasn't really been that great. We saw these cars do really well in qualifying. Locked out the top 3 as the 18 made contact with the very bumper of the 19 there.
The 18 is a car.
Like, these cars were really quick in qualifying. I wonder if they were a little bit more trimmed out for that kind of setup. We saw them lock up positions 1, 2, and 3. Hart-Hanstrom in 3rd and Alcantara in 2nd, respectively. But ever since then, they've kind of just been tumbling down. I mean, we saw Alcantara with that lead early on, but when that lead evaporated because of the caution, she hasn't really... that car doesn't seem to be handling nearly as well in the traffic, I think.
Not at all. Early on, I was paying attention. I was very interested by her racing, but it started to just crash and burn at this point. We haven't seen her in the top 10 in a long time.
Yeah, they've been sliding back for a while now. And, I mean, there's not too many cars on the lead lap. There's not too many cars on the lead lap, so that's not going to be too much of a concern for now, but there's still plenty of racing left to go, and we'll see what happens here. I do wonder if we are actually in the middle of a pit cycle. 21-17, I see a car that just... Did a car just... I think the car is being pulled into the garage. I believe that was the 20 of the Gabby Abriella. We'll double check on the replay camera what happened here. Oh, it looks like she just hit the pit wall. May have missed coming into pit lane. We see Reister, who also came in. Yep, might have been a late call, and she just slapped the concrete barrier there. That's been a problem for a lot of drivers. We saw Yannicka run into that, and I think we had one other driver did so. Was it the 31 of Happeman that did the same thing earlier on as well? You don't want to go too wide into pit lane, and that's exactly what happens when you do that. Yeah, we do seem to be in the middle of a pit cycle right now. It's the 42 of Mika Gennaro leading, and with that, I think it'll be a good time to segue to our FanDuel fan pick segment here. Ellie, I know you haven't seen the full race, but you've watched a good chunk of it, and have been paying very close attention to things. What do you call it? The running order is a little bit shaken up right now, but who do you think is going to have a really good shot at winning this race?
I think either the 42 or the 34, the racing we've seen from these two cars has been very aggressive so far. I think the 42 might have it, but I also would not be surprised if the 34 did as well.
Yeah, the 42 seems to have the better pace in this run right now. She's pulled away about 15 seconds on the 34, so that car is really hooked up right now. On the 34 is finally coming in. We'll see if she might be trying to work the undercut there. Let's see. Let's go. I'll make my pick here now. Let's see. I'm gonna keep my eye on the one of Alicia Vancy. That's wherever she is right now. So I'll hand the camera over to her, as she's staying out here. Yeah, she was running in the top 5 in this run. It's really gonna take a caution for her to get up there and really contend for the win. But pace-wise, I think she might have things in. Damage-wise, you see that one car looks relatively good. Just a bit of a few scratches on the left side, I think, but considering half these cars are running with at least some dented bumpers, if not entirely missing front and rear bumpers, that one car looks like they're in pretty good shape. And if things get stacked up late in the race, I think you need to watch out for that one car. She might be trying to make moves to the win, as she is closing on the 34. Although I think 34 came in. All right, and
that is a fair point.
Yeah. All right, and with that, I think we'll take it. We can take you back to the booth with Echo and Lou for commentary over the second half of the race. We'll be scurrying our way to pit lane pretty soon, because there's a whole pit cycle going on, and we want to see what's going on, what's happening over there. So see you guys then.
All right, Lou, you got a FanDuel fan pick here?
I mean, it'd be silly to take anyone other than the 34 or the 42, not the 52. No, no, the 42 or the 34. I think the 42. So Gennaro is a slightly faster than the 34, but honestly, depending on how the strategy pans out, could go either way, really.
Well, I think I'm picking the 34 of Harina. Gennaro and Harina are on different strategies, and Harina's been continually making up time on Gennaro when they've been off strategy. So I think Harina's got the play here. I think I think the 34 is going to be in victory lane at the end of this one. But we'll see. A caution could change everything here as well.
Yeah, caution could change everything and have the 55 winning. Or some card that we haven't seen all race long.
I mean, that would be about the most Bria de Lod way to win, so...
Yeah, that'd be the most French way to win.
So,
Remember, French people not allowed to be happy. Alright.
10 cars right now scored on the lead lap, although that is partly due to the pit cycle.
Well, once the 42 pit, it'll be what?
Yeah, it'll be probably back to around 15 or 20 or so.
I think it'd be interesting if a caution were to come out now.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be catastrophic for the 42, I think.
The 16 of Ingetta appears to have also retired for something. I don't know what, but she retired.
Please don't. Okay, yeah.
But that was like 5 laps ago, so it's a bit too late to call it now.
Well, that would have been a mid-race caution, but I guess it's not now. Not a great day for Ingetta, you know. Had all the bit brain issues, and
She's out of the race now, so...
and now she's out of the race, so...
The 42, the 1 are on this alternate strategy. 34's gotten around the 1 here.
If I'm the 1, I'd honestly try... that sounds still pretentious. If I'm the 1, that's like... I try to just stay out as long as possible. If I'm the 42, I'd stay out reasonably. I might try to push it to 1 if I'm the 1.
Well, let's
Like
see.
a
When did the
one-stopper.
42 last pit? I think it was 46, right? Not 46, somewhere around there.
Yes, but the 42 has definitely no chance at staying ahead. Well, at making it a one stop and not having like pit lane, well, fuel issues at the end.
Yeah.
The 1, I don't know exactly what the 1 strategy is, but might be more of a chance. And honestly, I just try to push it as much as I can. The 8 just had a mechanical failure, I think.
Where's the
Did I
8?
see that right? God, what a bad day.
Did she make it back? No, she did not make it back.
Alright, well, here's the caution I was talking about.
Well, there's the yellow.
Yeah.
Lauri Schliesenbach.
So, that's... If I'm the 42, I'm very pissed.
That really screws the 42. That messes her strategy up a lot.
Oh my goodness, there were 6 cars on the lead lap.
There are 6 cars scored on the lead lap.
Oh,
Partially due
God.
to pit cycle, but...
Well, yeah, but, you know. So what's the procedure then? Do we just wave everyone around?
It's everyone in between the lead lap cars.
Okay. This is about to get very interesting.
60 is the free pass car officially.
Actually, you know, I might not be that upset if I'm the 42, depending on if the 34 pets. And everyone behind.
If the 34 comes in with me, if the 34 comes in with the 42, I think that would help those two. They'd be on the same cycle.
Yes.
If the 42
Issues
comes
because
in and the
anybody-
34
yeah.
stays out,
does anyone behind the 42 and the 34 decide to stay out? The ones
Yeah.
coming in, the 32,
Maybe the
I don't
maybe
know.
the 10 and 21, but I don't know.
I think the 21 and the 10 have nothing to lose.
They
because
just pitted. They just pitted. I think they just came out of pit
just
road.
pitted.
Yeah,
They
I think
just
they
pitted?
just pitted.
It's not like they have the pace on pure pace to go and win it. They've been continuously losing time, so I think the best call is to stay out for those two. Everyone else, I think, probably come in.
Wesco
It's
got
gonna
the
be
free
between-
pass.
No, it's gonna be one of those 6 unless we have another caution. So there's really not that much to lose to come in.
Such a large gap back to the rest of the field that they're all just catching up now. Also,
believe
as
they're
well,
caught up in the
anybody who
back.
stays out and is ahead of the leader, they automatically get the wave around. So
Well, yeah.
since this is a road
Yeah.
course and we go quick yellows, we only go 2-lap yellows. It will just be everyone who stays out and stays in front of the leader. They get to wave around.
Yeah.
All right, 42 is in.
To the surprise of no one. 34.
There's the 34s all the way back here.
That's. Is the 42 safe? They can take their time.
34's coming in.
34. It's the.
All right, where's the one going?
The one's gonna probably come in, I would imagine.
Yep,
Yeah.
one is in.
32, I would imagine, comes in. I think it's really gonna be the 10 and the 21. But they're very far. But actually, I don't know. It won't even matter because they'll be behind anyway, because they're just so far back.
Yeah, they're so far back.
So really, it wasn't that bad for the 42. 'Cause they got to keep their racing. The 13 just had a mechanical failure, I think.
Oh, Waterton. That's major.
Yep, that's big. Oh,
What?
sure. Oh my. Yeah, this is a bit epic. What's happening right now? Alright, well,
These cars are trying to wave around.
trying is the keyword here. Did the 10 and 21 pit? Oh,
I don't know. They did.
okay. Everyone pitted.
So everybody on the lead, everybody that was scored on the lead lap came to pit road.
Yeah, so it'll be a one stopper from here.
Yeah.
No question. At least there's, well, at least.
We're gonna
Yeah.
go an extra
Gotta-
lap to let everybody cycle around.
Yeah, they're having difficulties here just because so long.
Rasha, what do you got?
Going back to look at the 13 car here, I think they're looking at the gearbox of that MBYW Mercedes. I wouldn't be entirely surprised if a gearbox had just gone on that car. I mean, yeah, we are talking about a race where gear shifts are a very important part of the race, and I think that the gearbox on that car seems to have gone. That seems to be what that seems to have been what happened to the 13. I think they just blew the gearbox when they were shifting down, trying to slow down for the caution there, and that'll obviously be the end of their race. That's definitely a unfortunate end for that team, and an end of the day for that team, I should say. Fortunate.
Well, tough end.
Interesting that it happened under caution.
Yeah, of all the times you could, money shift, I would not expect under caution to be one of those, especially on a road course like this.
Well, the thing is that sometimes these break and it takes a few. What is that car doing? Takes a few, not minutes, but at least a few seconds. So it could have been slowing down under caution, and then it takes a bit of time to actually realize that something's broken because you don't really change the gears a lot under caution, really.
We're just giving everybody an extra lap to get caught up here.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how many of these lapped cars are able to catch the actual field.
Yeah. Well, now if I'm the 42 and I'm the 34, the 42 and 34, they're fairly close. I think this is where we're going to see them, in terms of where they are in terms of strategy. Strategy's out the window now. Those two were kind of racing each other on strategy. Not anymore. Russia, 8 car?
Yeah, piston issues on the 8 car. We can confirm that they've been tearing down the engine for a little bit now, and that's what they think. That's what it looks that's what it looks like. The part that failed, I should say. That's the part that looks like it failed, I think. And obviously, they're not going to be able to go back now. That engine was a little bit toast by the time they got to the garage. So that's the end of Lori Schliesenbach's day as well.
Well, interesting to note here, Gennaro, Harina, Vancy, Rariston, Stoneman, Wandayo, Wesco, the top 7. Those cars, the top 6 were on the lead lap. Wesco took the free pass. Then it's Chantasse, Alicantes, Coup that are the next 3 on the lead lap. We have 20 cars on the lead lap. There are 23 that are running. Bit of a high attrition rate for a road course here, but...
All right.
I don't know what they're doing here.
Oh, what are they doing? Oh, it'd be cool if they didn't wreck immediately going green.
Well, here we go. We're going green flag racing here from Montreal. Here we go. The 1 car going around the 34 for the second position. Here comes the 32 of Rariston.
Yeah, that inside seat should just collapse. Then on a restart, that's interesting. I'd say if the 32 were to win this, it wouldn't be unexpected necessarily because they have been pretty quick. They just had been, stuck a minute behind.
She's been stuck a decent ways behind the field, yeah. Now she's up in 3rd. Harina's dropped back to 4th, and you got the 2 Red Racing teammates back here fighting for 5th. Wesco's back here. There's where Chantasse is. Chantasse is slowly closing back up to these cars.
Well, yeah, Chantasse still have a shot at this because you seem to be pretty quick, honestly.
Yeah.
All of this will depend on the final cycle of pit stop.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Really. So,
Rariston.
And here we go.
Rariston
Trying
goes
to make
2 for
2
1.
and 1. Wow. What a statement.
What a move by the 32, and I think she might make this stick. Yes, she will. 32 of Rariston has taken the lead away.
That's the move of the day.
And Rariston has been
Nothing
really
to
good
do
on the
with
short tracks this season. She won 2 in a row earlier in the season. She's looking for her 3rd win of the year. And it could come right here.
You know, this racetrack is a bit like a short track.
Yeah.
It's, you decelerate a lot and then you accelerate a lot and accelerate. Obviously, there's a few differences as well, but in the fundamentals, you know, corner exit is very important at short track. Exit is very important here as well. So it's not surprising to see a driver like her being up there.
And it would be another race where Rariston had to take the free pass to get back on the lead lap and then get up front and take the lead. She did that back at Bristol, and at South Boston, I believe she ended up taking the wave around at some points, and then got the lead there at the end and drove away with it. 30 laps to go here from Montreal. Vancy's up to the 2nd position. She's actually gotten by Gennaro. Stoneman is in 4th. Battle for the 5th spot. There's Wandayo fighting with Harina. Then you have AWSCO diving in really deep. Trying to take the spot from Wandayo, and Shondase's caught up to this group here as well. Rariston has pulled away though. That 32 is gone right now.
Yep, that's interesting. If
10.
those because the 10 hasn't had race winning speed all day long, so to see the 42 being stuck with the 10 means the 42 might not have race winning speed. But honestly, right now there's no one. Actually, the only driver that's pulling into to the 32 is the 26.
Yeah.
I believe. Well, not now because
she's bottled up here, but I think the 26 may genuinely be one of the fastest cars right now.
This will be interesting if there's another caution.
Yeah.
Which, you know,
Whoa!
there might oh!
42 got the
if we
wall
move
really big there.
If we see moves like that often, we'll see another caution, but
Yeah.
wow. Yes, the 26 definitely has good pace right now, and it has had good pace for a long time.
Go to the inside on Wandayo here. Just gonna be the outside in this corner. But that might help. You can get a little bit better drive off on the outside in those corners. AWSCO dive bombing the 34 here.
Ooh. Need to be careful at this corner. The 30 to 26 already won tough ones here.
Yeah.
There's a move ahead to the 60 and well, we'll try to make something work on the. Oh wow! Dive bombing it around the outside, making it work. That's interesting. Well, the 34 seems to really be slow here.
Yeah, the 34. I think the 34 and 42 kind of both have lost pace.
34 have an issue?
I don't think so.
It's no. Wow. The 34 is really slow.
42 is back here. Drop position. The 10 car now all battling with the 1 of Vancy. The 26 is around all these cars.
Oh, too wide in the. I always hate when they go too wide there. It's not a corner where you need to overtake. This doesn't work. If you try to go side by side,
Jeez, the 34. I don't know what's up, but that car just is not.
No, the 34 is. Maybe it's not a mechanical failure.
Maybe she didn't change tires on the last yellow. It could be that.
That would have been the stupidest move ever. But maybe the tires weren't ready.
42 got the wall again.
The 10 gained 2 seconds there. Not the 10. I mean the 26 actually went in not in lap traffic, it's gaining time, and it's not like a not close margin.
Ten car of Stoneman. She's really trying to get around the one of Vancy. Dive bomb into the hairpin.
Yeah.
Stoneman, I think Stoneman has a little bit better speed than the one right now. She can't get by. Not yet, anyways. See if she makes a move down the back straightaway. Yes, she does.
But it's gonna be very hard.
She's gonna tuck in.
Okay, it doesn't
yeah.
taste. Yeah,
She
it's gonna
tucked in.
It's not.
She tucked in the
Look at-
at the Wall of Champions.
Look at how slidey that 10 is in comparison to that one, and that's really what makes the 10 not able to overtake the one. The one isn't the quickest, but you know, it's a very tight car, which makes it better.
26 did not gain in
around here.
traffic there, or 26 didn't gain in
Yeah,
fairly clean air.
it's interesting. All right, might have burned the tires a bit. The thing is, why is that 32 in comparison to in traffic? It would be coming close to it.
Pretty well not in.
Okay,
she's
yeah.
Not really even close to traffic.
Oh, someone really went off here, and Shadows went off as well.
9 car of Carly Byrne is in the pits.
You know, this is a very tough racetrack for the drivers currently. Like, in terms of physical form, here you really need to have a great one because you're always braking and slamming at high speed around corners, well, around the chicanes. But that 18 tried to do something, it didn't work. So it's. I think you're starting to see as the race goes on, the tires getting the drivers getting a bit more tired and. You're seeing a bit more mistakes now than you were seeing about 20, 30 laps ago, and that's quite interesting. Maybe as this race goes along, they're gonna try to crank it up now, and it's not necessarily more. But at this point, really, there's nothing. You need to push it because you need to want to come back to that 32.
Yeah.
But 11 seconds on purely on speed. That's crazy.
That 32 is very fast right now. I think part of it is the one is still holding up the 10. I think the 10 is much closer to the 32's speed than the one is, but she can't get around.
The 10 here keeps burning. Well, just gonna keep burning her tires down until she passes the one, which means that might not be able to catch up once she's past the one, and that's gonna be very. Very interesting here.
18 is
Well,
now
that
up
car was
into,
ahead.
she's now actually
car
gotten
was
by Chantasse.
I wonder who led the most laps led. It's either the 18 or the 42.
42. I think it's still the 18.
It's gonna be close anyway.
Well, yeah, I think it might end up being the 32 if she continues to lead the rest of this race. I'm not sure if she will, considering we do have another pit cycle to go, but there's a decent chance. 10 car
oh my
finally has gotten around the one.
14 seconds last time I believe.
14
It was
seconds.
11. So that was 3 seconds last lap. Lost, and this time by the 10's probably not gonna gain any speed, well, any time, because she's gonna have had to overtake the one.
I mean, let's see, the 32.
The one.
Let's see, the 32, her lap time, she ran a 154.3. See what the 10 does. She pits.
Well, she's been 8, so.
All right.
Wait, she pets?
Yeah.
She can't make it until the end there.
No, she can't. I'm not sure what the strategy is there.
Do they think they can't go on a wall stopper here?
They might.
I mean, that'd be a lot of fuel consumption to not be able to go on a one-stopper. But I mean, at this point, she's so far back that she might just be thinking, you know what?
Let's just get tires.
Yeah, let's just get tires and see what we can do. The issue is, if nobody else goes with her, then she's in big trouble.
Well, if we get a late caution,
that could change everything now.
if we get a late caution after everyone's made their final stop, and the 10 you know, comes in, she'll have fresh tires. She'll be faster than pretty much everyone.
Yeah, but that depends. How many drivers will be on the lead lap when that happens?
Yeah.
We get a caution. And would she come out in the top 10? Because I don't think she would, because there was already 37 seconds to 34. Man, a 34 has not had any speed.
34 has really dropped back. She got passed by the 23 of Yappy Malikson. There's the 18 of Alicantes. The 18 looks really fast right now. She might have gotten her speed. She might have found her speed back here.
Yep.
She's been running some really fast laps. Ariston's 20 seconds out in front.
Yeah, I mean, 20 seconds and what would be 20 laps, that'd be hard to, catch. You need a good pit stop, a good strategy, and be fast every single lap.
The 18
Really
in
catch it.
traffic for most of that lap only lost 1 second to the 32.
Yeah, that's the issue. Like, it seems impressive. Only losing a second in it is impressive in and of itself. But that's not enough, because 20 seconds in 23 laps.
Whoa, she got really aggressive there. Trying to get around the 1.
Because when you think about it, if she loses 1 second every lap car, that means she's gonna have...
Well, she also
She
she was
lap-
actually passing two cars through that.
Well, yeah, but... Yeah. These lap cars will not stop, that's the issue. At some point.
Well, they're not lap cars either. This is for position.
Well, yes, but they're effectively lap cars in pace, because the pace difference is so big between drivers here that at most of the racetrack it'd be lap cars that would be going that slowly. 60 closed the door here now.
60 got back by the 18. I wonder if maybe the 18 laid off to not lose from the 1. 18 trying to do a bit of a reversal here on the 1 or on the 60. Dove inside, then went outside. They're catching the 1 though very quickly. The 1's
Well,
just
yeah.
not up to pace.
Yeah, it's gonna be very hard to.
Unless
do
we get a
anything
yellow.
once you get by the first time. Well, unless we get if we get a yellow, I mean, the thing is, if we get a yellow, every time we get a yellow, the sort of pace of everyone resets.
Yeah.
A couple of laps under caution, will make that to somebody's mind. So that's. Yeah, it's very. It's gonna be very hard for the 18 to make that back. I think the 18's best hope is that the 32 messes up a corner, hits the wall, and has to take a long pit stop for damages.
Yeah.
That's her best hope, and even that's
It's a hope.
Yeah, it's a hope on it. Or a lapped car arrives and blocks her in. We've seen it a few times where a lapped car sort of moves in the middle of a straight and puts somebody in the wall. That could happen here. Oh.
I think the way I jump the 32, hope the 32 pits really early, and then pit as late as I can to get the benefit of the tires.
Well, yeah, but the 32 has no reason to pit early. The 32 has every single reason to stay out as long as possible.
Yeah,
Because
that's
there's
true.
no track position to lose for the 32. It's your hope, but it's very unlikely. More likely that somebody puts the 32 out of the race and you have the 32 just... Unless the strategist really thinks the 32 will be terrible in the long run, but right now it's not like what it seems like.
18's pitting.
Oh.
So she's gonna do this early.
And try
You
to
can
undercut
make
it.
you can make it from here.
It's gonna be tough.
Barely. But
I
you
mean-
can make it.
I think the 32
Oh!
is betting that... Oh!
I don't know how that wasn't a wreck.
Oh my god.
23 hooked the 21 into the 26 and they all saved it.
I was gonna say, I think the 32 is trying to bet that there's gonna be a caution once the, the 18 is betting that there's gonna be caution once the 32 immediately comes out, maybe? No, even that wouldn't be great, because...
There's the 18. Left side tires on the 18.
Oh my, the gap's 30 seconds now. This is...
The
Yeah, this
one
is rapidly-
I think the one just does not have the does not have pace.
Yeah, and just is blocking everyone. But the issue is at this point... I mean... Yeah, 30 seconds... Unless there's a mistake for the 32 or a caution, even on pit road, because a pit stop is 40, 50 if you take damage. So you cannot gain 30-second without a pit stop or some kind of mishap happening to the 32. So I think we should more, take interest in that battle for second place before the end of this race, because the battle for first place is effectively, unless there is an incident of some sort, over.
'26 to the inside on the 42. 42
Oh.
spins around and she's gonna
Yeah,
keep
the
it going.
42.
Kept it going.
Yeah.
Oh, the 3.
Oh. That might have been somebody blocking Melly, because that's on the backstretch. I think everybody's starting to get a bit crazy here, starting to push a lot before that final cycle of pit stops.
Starting to get a little antsy, everyone is, I think. Yeah, I have to agree.
I mean, it is crunch time here. It's really the moment where the race will probably be determined more than what happens after the pit stop, because that's where the gaps will be made. And these drivers, they may not have a chance at the lead, at the win, but they have a chance at still gaining a few points. And in the championship battle, it's still important. And I'm sure that some of these drivers are in the championship battle here at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, getting on the cut line battle is going to be important too.
Yes.
'32 is in. 32's come down. So Rariston's doing the early stop strat here.
The 18 came down multiple laps. Everyone else. Very interesting. Wonder if there wasn't maybe an issue with the 18 for them to come down so early.
I think the 32 is actually going to hold the lead off pit road here.
Oh my god.
That's how far ahead she is. She's that so far ahead that she's literally held the lead
Yeah.
off pit road.
Oh.
Malickson's in, 23 car.
And it won't even be close between the 32 and the 1. That's the craziest part about this.
I think the best car right now compared to the 32 is the 18. And the 18 now
Well,
is going to
yes.
be, I believe, the 18 because she's not throttled back by the 1 and the 60 right now. I believe the 18 is going to be in a better position than she was before.
Yes, but the issue is she's going to be on older tires now.
I mean, it's only one lap. 34, 6, 17 are all in. 23.
It's only one lap? What do you mean?
Well, what? She came in lap 71, right? Yeah, she came in lap 70.
Oh, really?
And the 32 came in lap,
Yeah, lap 70.
72.
It's 2 laps, which
So
is...
it's 2 laps, which isn't that much.
It's not that much, but it's, you know, you can feel it usually.
Yeah.
2 laps is sort of where you feel it. What I wonder is, if we were to get a caution, would anyone want to come in really towards the end of this race? Like, if we get a caution lap 85, who's coming in, who's not coming in?
I think if you're pitting, you know, at the end of the race, you're pitting because you have damage or because you can't make it on fuel. One car is in.
Well, there's gonna be
21.
one point. There's
26.
gonna be some. There's gonna be some cars that know that they have speed, but they just don't have track position, and they might think,
Yeah.
especially if we've got like 8, 7, 6, 7 cars on the lead lap. It's gonna be very. It's gonna be very tempting to just come in and put on tires and be able to push it until the end.
The 3 car is blocking the...
That
Daylight's
18
out
is
of the
not
18.
aggressive. Like,
Oh!
usually, oh my,
27.
oh no. Okay, it's able to get going.
No.
Not?
No. I don't think she's able to get going. She's trying.
That seems like a major direction issue. I mean, she's
Well, the caution
crawling.
was called for the 15 earlier, so... For that, so... Yep. That
Oh,
will
okay,
be a...
yeah, no, she's
that
not.
will be a caution flag.
Well,
there's the late caution.
I mean, it's not that late. There's still gonna be 10. Well, there's still gonna be 15 laps to go. Maybe once we go back, so it's almost a full cycle.
Yeah. Nietzsche Garnston, who, up there in the points, but that's not going to help. Well, now the thing is, if you're one of those cars that, hasn't pitted yet, you've just gotten a free pit stop here, basically. The 9 of Carly Byrne is the free pass car. '27 retired, yeah. So Garnston's out of the race.
I think he really should make some safety adjustments that final chicane. It's kind of dangerous to have a massive concrete wall at the end of the straight.
Yeah.
But my understanding is that he had to make some adjustment to this racetrack in the final moments. I would imagine that would be fixed next year. If we
Probably.
go back here next year. Oh, what a way to get your lap back.
Yeah, if it works, it works.
Well, it gets tire dirty. But, I mean, if you're going to pit after, I don't know if they want to pit, but if they're going to pit after, they don't care if the tire's dirty. Well, I say that, but we saw what happened to the 36, to the 46.
Well, you should be able to, if you come in here, you should be able to make it to the end. But
Well-
I don't think anybody's coming in here.
I think everyone.
The
Yeah, it's right now,
60,
basically
I don't
everyone.
the 60 hasn't made her stop yet. I think
I would
she's
imagine
the,
the 60 is gonna come in.
I think she's the only one. I'm pretty.
The
I
60
believe
is
the
far
60.
ahead from third place that she could come in, make her stop, and then kind
Well, I think she'd have to come in here anyways.
Well, yeah.
Oh, they're coming in.
Oh my!
They're coming down.
What?
32's coming
what
down.
What a terrible call!
21.
What a. Yeah, obviously the 21 staying out. You shouldn't come in right now.
18
Except
is
if you
in.
don't think you can make it.
I
on
think they
fuel.
might think they can't make it on fuel.
Interesting. I mean, I don't know how you can really think that because we've seen cars do it on fuel in that long, but wow, okay, so that's a move of all time. Well, it changes the entire complexion of the race now because
Yeah.
the 32, who is extremely quick, is gonna start in the middle of the field here, well, middle of the top of the field.
So Wandayo, Malikson. Vancy, McJasmina, Rariston, Wesco, Chantasse, Alicantes, Gennaro, and Parkings will be the top 10. Very interesting call from the 32 to come down pit road. Rasha, what's up?
Yeah, Echo, that seems to be the logic with the 32 team. They were talking on the radio about how safe they felt on the fuel coming into that lap, and whether or not they were going to be able to save enough fuel with this caution, and potentially if the race goes green the rest of the way. And they were kind of weighing out the options, and they thought that playing it safe was going to be the best option for them. Obviously, they had a really fast car. Before the caution, we'll see if that stays. We've seen a lot of cars that were fast at one run completely disappear in another run. We saw that with the 18. We kind of saw that with the 34. And it'll be interesting to see what happens to the 32 in this green flag run now.
Top 10 cars are all going to be joined together here. I believe the 17 is actually on the lead lap. Yeah, she is. So the top 13 cars are all probably going to be joined together here on the restart. Why are my frames dying?
Why not? No, your frames are not drying. They're just on strike, as is tradition in Quebec.
Very
All right.
French. Alright. Well, it's two red racing cars leading the way for the restart. Wandayo, Malikson, Vancy, McJasmina stayed out. Everybody else Came down pit road. Green flag. Here we go. We're back racing. $16 laps to go. McJasmine going around the outside of the one. Ariston has actually just lost a position to the 60, and she might lose another one to the 18. Car gets through. McJasmine up to second now, as she's gotten around Malikson. Vancy is in fourth. You got Alicantes up to fifth. AWSCO, Chantose, Parkings, and Rariston has dropped well back. What has happened to that 32 car? And we may have a move for the lead soon, because here comes the 6 of McJasmine. She takes the lead away, and the 6 of McJasmine now out front. As we've reached 15 laps to go here. There's 5th place Alicantes. Parkings is up into 6th now. Excuse me, the 1 actually, I believe. The 1 dropped back. So, sorry, that's 4th place Alicantes and 5th place Janet Parkings. And Janet Parkings has just been so impressive all season in that car that's not as supported by Toyota as, you know, their other team, Southwest Racing. Parkings is 3rd in the standings. Alicantes trying to close in on Malikson now. That 72 might be cooking something up. Six is pulling away a little bit. Here comes Alicantes looking to the inside on the 23. Looks to the outside. The 72. Trying to take the spot. They're going to be side by side into the final chicane. They're going to be 3... Oh, I thought they were going to be 3 wide. Alicantes up to 3rd. And Rariston's still losing ground, down to 9th. She has passed the 1 of Vancy. 72 looking to the inside of the 23, trying to take 4th spot away. And now the 72 finally going to get outside of Malikson. Gianni McJasmina, though, she's been great on the road courses this year. Ran well at Road America. That's where her only top 10 of the season came. She was running very decently at Bathurst. Got what was before that top 10 at Road America, her best finish of the season at Willow Springs. McJasmine has been great on the road courses. And now she's leading the way here for Montreal with just, as we're going to come to the line this time with just 13 laps to go. Amani Wandayo sits second. Alicante's third. Parking's at fourth. Yappy Malixon has dropped to fifth. The 18 did not close. McJasmine are running a 1:53.466. McJasmine has the fastest lap of the race now. She's run the only sub 1:53 of this race. That 6 is on fire right now. Parking's in the outside wall. The one car has now come down pit road. The only thing I think that would mess this up is a caution. And, see what happened to the one.
Man, what an eventful restart.
Yeah, I mean, you missed it, but... The 6 of Gianni McJasmina has now taken the lead. As we're coming into 12 laps to go.
No, it's interesting, because there was never a car that really could have fought for the lead of the race, for the entire race. There was always a car that was up there.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
I feel
not
like...
that surprising.
Yeah, the 6 has been running well all race. You know, she's been running pretty solidly all race. She got kind of mired back through the pit, through some of those pit cycle yellows, but these have been her best tracks all year. Is these road courses? She had her only top 10 of the year so far at Road America a few weeks ago, where she finished 6th. You know, Willow Springs had her best finish of the year prior to that. And I recall her running fairly all right at Bathurst.
Well, it's interesting then, but hey, there's still 11 laps to go. I don't know if that 6 can will with it, because that the 21's not far up, and that 18's not far up as well. They both were very quick earlier in the race, and they could come back, especially that 18 I think still has a bit of speed in this.
18 still has a bit of speed, but I think the car I'd be looking at in terms of who has speed, 72 Janet Parkins. She's been really fast in this last little bit.
That's a surprise. That's a car we haven't seen all day. So, I mean, it's good. It means the car locks in the right moment.
Yeah. I mean, that's been Janet Parkins this whole season, really. The other note, you know, McJasmine has set the fastest lap of the race on this run. So, she is... I'm not sure what adjustments they've made to this car, but they have clearly...
Well,
they've
it's
clearly
just that
worked.
right now there's no need to hold on. So... he can just go into the most they want to do until the end of this race in terms of pushing, because there's no real tire or fuel concern for at least for the cars that have pitted. I think
She ran a 1:53 that last lap. These cars, which I think have been, you know, pretty decent on pace, they ran 1:54s. So there's been a lot of variation in terms of lap time. Yappy Malikson fighting with AWSCO. 6th spot up for grabs right there. Shanta Say's back here in 8th. Sinlia Rariston, I'm not sure what happened, but on that restart, the car just didn't go. She just didn't go. She just didn't drive away, and maybe it's partially just the fact that the one car held up most of the field for a good while, but the 32 just has not seemed like it's had the pace that it had earlier. Well, we are at our Windows 11 to go. Giami McJasmina out front here from Montreal. Amani Wandayo sits second. Perry Alicantes, Janet Parkings, Mika Harina, Amory Wesco, Yappy Malikson, Sophie Chantose, Cindy Rariston, Audie Stoneman, and Mika Gennaro, the top 11.
Well, not now. Oh, okay. Yes, now.
The 10 was look to the inside, but the bridge chicane there. You just you can't really make it stick on the inside unless you're clear before the corner.
It just noticed the tire wall at the weirdest place on the N3. Well, on the interior of the airpin.
21 is not very fast, and I think the 18 and 21 will catch up to the 21 here.
Well, the 21 hasn't pitted.
Well, the 6 stayed out on this last yellow, the 21 stayed out, the 23 stayed out, and I believe the 1 was the other car that stayed out, but the 1 is way back. Oh, never mind, the 1 is just out of the race.
Oh.
Okay.
Something happened there.
I saw the 1 come down pit road. I didn't know that she retired. Well, 12 seconds the gap now between McJasmina and Wandayo.
I'd watch out if I was the 6s to not push it too much then.
Yeah.
I thought the 6 had pitted, but no then, so that means, yeah, she gotta really watch out. Because she's been doing, you know, fastest lap after fastest lap, and
you know, if I'm worried about anything, I would be worried about if a caution were to come out. Because that's what's going to change the complexion of this race most, is if a yellow comes out.
yeah, but they don't control that. What they can control is how much
Yeah.
the 6 is pushing, but they can't really control if a caution comes out. You just,
Yeah.
unless it involves the 6, but then they have bigger issues.
Well, yeah. Sometimes you can't even control that.
A leader retiring at the end of the race in NR, that couldn't happen. Never.
Nah.
NR is reasonable like that.
When would that ever happen?
Auto parts.
Or were you reading the broken bridges?
No, go back. the the advertising board to the exit of the small bridge there is.
Auto parts. Yeah, I don't know why, but this, like, the bridge, like, textures are so weird. They're, like, messed up, and I don't know why.
What, you don't like a bus? That-
Wabus.
Bus. The 18 is the 18 is pushing a bit more now, and
She's catching up to the 21.
yeah, that's the value difference. Could have a battle for second place pretty soon enough if the 72 isn't trying to. Seems like the 21's just not quick at all.
I think what we may see, because I think the 72 is faster than the 18 right now.
Could we see a double overtake? Hey, we saw one of those. Yeah.
No, we might see that. I think we could see the 72 try for a double overtake.
Somebody's in the pits.
82.
Yeah,
Urea.
that doesn't matter.
6 car is kind of held up by the lap car right here.
I mean, it's good. Don't push it. Don't go to the inside there, but don't push it as well.
She's gonna get by on corner exit. Whoa, 18 got on the wall.
Well,
That's gonna let this.
18.
That's the move. That's the moment the 72 wanted.
I think we're having an audio issue here. There's a mic that's on that's not supposed to be on, I think. The 72 makes it to the 18, and now's the time when we're really gonna see how quick the 72 is, at least until we get 21, which might be sooner than later because 21's kind of been blocked by whoever that lap car is.
That's the 82 of Urea.
It's the 82 that's going down the pit lane. It won't block them because.
Well, she just came out of the pit road, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Now the thing is with the 72. I don't think she has enough time to get to the 6.
No, they don't. But it's a battle for second place though. Second place is still
Yeah.
fine.
And if something were to happen to the 6, if the 6 like isn't able to make it, 72 could be in a great spot.
72 has pitted, right?
Yeah, 72 did pit on the last yell.
That means if there is, a fuel issue that we hadn't caught.
Yeah, on the 6. Oh, the
Oh,
21
wow.
just blew up.
There you go. Oh, and where will it stop? Will it stop in the middle there? Probably.
She
I would
pulls
imagine
off.
So.
Okay,
Yep.
well, she hits the invisible wall, but
That doesn't matter. Well,
that takes care of that.
hey, it's an easy pass for the 18 then.
Well, now these cars have, they gotta get through this traffic, and then, they'll have free reign to try and hunt down the 6.
Which will not happen. Let's be realistic. It will not happen. I'm
Oh,
not
it
sure
won't
will
happen, but the 72 could at least gain a little bit of time.
Yeah, don't make this the worst
Make it
margin
as
this season.
make it a little more respectable.
Well, it's respectable. What we saw earlier was not respectable. The 35 seconds that 32 pulled up. That wasn't respectable, but 19 seconds at a road course like Montreal is fine. You've seen worse.
Yeah, that's fair. When we go to Mosport next week, that race is going to be 102 laps, so... That race is going to be even longer than this one. .72 going to maneuver around the lap cars here. She lost a bit of time, but I think that's partly by being held up by the 82. And the 6 is in clean air, so... Well, now we're going to see what the 72 can do. She's got pretty well clean air
I'll
the rest
say,
of the way.
If the 6 messes up, but like not in a small way, like if she has contact with a lap car or something like that, this could still be in play.
Yeah.
without the 6 needing to pit, but that, I mean, where's the next lap cars to the 6?
Right there. The 92 of Yatica.
Yeah, that's a slow one too, so not necessarily. Depends on how the 6 will manage that.
If McJasmine or Parkings were to win, it would be the first win for Toyota in the Cup Series all year.
That sounds like Toyota.
They're the only manufacturer without a win in Cup. They've won in Continental quite a few times, but not a Cup. Getting held up by the 92 here.
Wow. That's getting held up a lot.
Who's on pit road? Oh, that's a 21. Okay. Look at how far out the 72's gone on these groups. 6 still isn't past the 92.
Goodness, what's going to be the lap time here? It's going to be a very...
She ran a 154
gain
last.
a lot, I would imagine.
What's the 72 gonna run? She didn't gain.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's... If she didn't gain this time, it's over.
It might be it.
Because Examiner got halted by the 92 here.
To be fair, she only really got held up by the 92, like at the very end of the lap.
Yeah, but still.
Oh, she almost tried to turn the 92.
See, that would have been the moment that could have brought the 72 back, but it's not the case. And the 6 passes, and do we have another lap car or not?
Not for a while.
All right. Well, probably not before the end of this race. So, good job on the 6 for winning.
Are you trying to jinx it?
Well, I'm not trying to jinx it. I'm just trying to change the odds in a unfavorable manner to the leaders. I'm not trying to jinx it.
Alright. You know what? Fair enough. 26. There's Chantaze fighting back here with AWSCO. Stoneman's back here. You got Malikson around here. Even, also I want to point out as well, Dira Reister in the 17, she's actually in 10th. She's the only driver this year that hasn't scored a top 10.
It'd
The
be
21...
a heck of a race.
The
Where's
20...
the 11th place?
Right here. So it's not out of the
well.
it's not out of the question that she could lose it, but 157 and the 72 155. So she did gain that time, but obviously not anywhere near enough.
She would only need to gain about 5 seconds, 6 seconds a lap.
Yeah, and in all of my testing, I haven't seen a car gain that much. I've seen cars gain 4 seconds a lap, but that's it.
Well, there's always a time for it first. I have a feeling it won't be this time, but there's always a time for it first.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm not even going to entertain a response to that one. Parking's probably going to jump quite a bit in the points, though. In fact, she may actually take the points lead because of where she is. Because she's only 1 point behind the 23. The 64 retired. She's back on 29th. So, I mean, you may be looking at the car that is taking the points lead right here. Is this 72.
The 6 will kick Alicia Byrne out of the
Out of the
spot by
playoffs.
winning.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she probably will kick the 91 out because I don't think the 91's running. Yeah, the 91's out of the race.
Yeah. There's a that battle for transfer spies is getting tighter and tighter if you don't have a win.
Yeah, there will be, what, like 6 slots left, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the 72 again lost time, so this is pretty much down to the 6 just not making a grave mistake or having a mechanical issue.
And we're at the point of no return, so.
Well, I believe at this point a caution would not be thrown. I don't think I actually can throw a caution with less than 3 to go.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't believe a manual caution is allowed with under 2 to go, I think it is.
Only an automatic caution. Or semi-automatic caution.
Alicante's gonna finish 3rd. Still pretty good day for Alicante's. Led a good chunk of laps at the beginning. She looked like one of the fastest cars at the start of the race. Just, you know, didn't have it towards the end here, but still a pretty good day.
May have most laps led.
I think she'll have most laps led. I don't think anybody led as nearly the amount of laps that she did.
The 42 maybe. I think
Maybe.
the 42 led quite a bit, but on 2 different occasions. So like.
Yeah. Mika Harina is going to be 4th. This is going to be good for her in terms of the cut race. Yapi Malikson 5th. A good day for her in the points. Sophie Chantasse 6th place. Not a race winning run, but very respectable after what she's come back from all race. She's looking for 5th too, so. AWSCO 7th place right now. Not a bad day for her either. Audie Stoneman gonna get a little bit here. Gives the 60 a bit of a bumper tap. We have 2 laps to go now.
Yeah, there's a bit of a battle for 5th at least.
Yeah, they're battling back here.
It's a minute behind, but,
They're fighting back here.
Odged.
10 car, I think, is looking for the spot on the 60. I believe the 26 may try and get the run here down the front straightaway on the 23.
Or penultimate opportunity to do that, so if you want to do that, she needs to hurry up.
Yeah. There's the leader. I probably could have found her.
1 minute behind.
I probably could have found the leader quicker by just going backwards through the field rather than forwards.
I mean, there's how many cars are there between? Yeah, like 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
White flag. 1 lap to go for McJasmina. Looking for her first win. Here, and the first win for Toyota all year after they've gone 15 races to start the season winless. We saw Red Racing break their winless drought last week in Charlotte. Southwest Racing trying to break theirs here in the road course in Montreal. And it's McJasmina, who has been their road course ace all season, has driven away here at the end. 25 seconds the gap back to Parkings. Easily would break the highest margin of victory record.
Good strategy at the end, and that's basically what won it, and a bit of clutching it at the end and leading a lot. We'll say the pace was there all race. It's not a
Oh yeah.
it's not an undeserved win, even if it's based more on strategy than anything. It's not an undeserved win.
She was fast
Just
all
gets
race. She was in the top 10 pretty much the whole race, but she just timed it right, got around, took the race lead, and never looked back. And the driver from San Luis Obispo, California, is going to have a lot to celebrate.
So a home time hero.
Yeah, yep, very close to Montreal.
Yeah.
McJasmina will come down the back straightaway. She's gonna put the 19 a lap down right before. Through the final chicane, everything's clean and good. It will be Giami McJasmina who comes across the checkered flag. McJasmina will win in Montreal.
Second place will go to 72 of Janet Parkings, who will most likely take the points lead.
I believe Parkings will
Good
take the
night
points
for
lead.
her. And then Countess, who has been another one of these really quick cars all day, but just didn't really clutch in at the right moment. Third and fourth. 34 of Mika Rana. And then we'll see what happens.
Did the
with
72 cross the line yet?
I don't even know.
Oh, she did. Okay.
Oh, yes.
18 crossed the line.
Yes,
There's the
that's
18.
38 seconds back, final mark.
Fun race. I actually enjoyed that. I had a lot of doubts going in. I had a lot of doubts going in just because of how I tried to set up the I9, but it was a very fun race at the end of it.
It was a good one, not a wreck fest, which was good.
Yeah.
And I will say it was kind of extremely crazy, but it wasn't necessarily that bad.
I think having calm road course races like these are fun to have as little breaks from the chaotic oval races. We did have a change for position.
I wouldn't call this calm.
I mean, that's fair. 17 is going to finish 11th, by the way, so she did not get her first top 10 of the year.
Sorry, I need to be professional. Oh, that is unfortunate for this.
Well, she is British, so it explains why you would hate her.
Well, I would not necessarily just the British people. There's also, isn't there an Ontarian in the field?
Oh yeah, there is.
So yeah, there's worse.
There's an Albertan in the field.
No, Ontarian's worse.
Well, they're in a very fun race at the end of this one. And McJasmina, she's become one of the best road course drivers in the series. Really, just at all. And I think that she really showed it here. Great job by McJasmina to pull off the victory in this one. What are your thoughts? Generally, what do you think? What do you think? What did you think about this race?
It was a race that was very moody in a way, because you got those massive rhythms swings between drivers. You'll sometimes 3 or 4 seconds faster depending on what cycle you're in. But in the end, you know, we had a few good passes. We had a bit of we couldn't, before the last 10, right? The last 5-10 laps, we couldn't really be sure who was going to win, and that is good enough for me. So I would give this race a good, 7 out of 10.
Yeah, all right. Well, we're going to send you back to the studio, the Fan Studio, for the post-race show. Things changed. Things have changed a lot. Things have changed a lot here at the end of this one from how the mid-race was. Rasha, Ellie, you two got us down there in the post-race show?
Yeah, hello and welcome. Welcome back to the studio for the post-race show. We're here to see Giami McJasmina win by approximately 15 years and probably a few extra miles on top of that here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal. It was a Southwest racing car that won. It wasn't the one that was leading at the that was running the best in in the middle of the race, but Jeremy McJasmine was running pretty well. I think just outside the top 10. I want to say around that middle of the race, and kind of strategized their way through the pack and managed to snag the lead on that last restart. It just never looked back. That 6 car was on rails. It was absolutely unstoppable there. Janet Parkins and Perry Alcantes round out the podium. Good run for the 72. That surely will take them up to the points lead. Mika Harina and Yapi Malkson round out the top 5. And here now joined with Ellie once again. We'll see what we'll see. What did you think about the race? The second half of the race, especially. I think it was pretty interesting seeing the field strategy games being played. We saw a bunch of cars come in, kind of doubting that they were able, with doubts that they would be able to make it on fuel from the restart all the way to the end, and that wasn't actually a concern at the end. I think pretty much everyone made it through pretty safely.
Yeah, I thought that was a very interesting race, like very amazing all around. Especially when midfield was a lot of back and forth. Some of these people, they were drivers, I should say. I really liked their strategy. I liked the back and forth. I liked the tight racing, the close in between spacing on these turns. It was very fun watch. It was a very, very, very fun watch, and I wasn't too surprised about the 6 winning. Her racing was really great all race.
Yeah, I think so. Perry Alcantes, of course, managed to recover back to finish top 3 after that. They're falling off quite a bit in that middle of the race. When we saw her in the mid race, she was running outside the top 10. I think she was fighting for about 15th or so. So good recovery for her. Obviously that team's gonna kind of be thinking about what they could have done to hold the lead more. But at the same time, still like 3rd place finish, a good run for the 18 team, and that's another team that's up high in points. That'll be working to move their way up towards the front as well. Harina Malaksin, another good run for Yapi Malaksin. She's really getting the hang of this. She's become really good at I should say she's been really good in the last few weeks. Been notching down quite a few top 10s. And actually, let me see the. Yeah, okay. There was 1 point between those two, so yeah, Parking should still take the lead, but it'll be a pretty close race for the points lead between the 72 and 23, and probably the 64 as well, of course. Taking a look at the rest of the top 10, Shanto Sei, another really good recovery run. I mean, she almost got a top 5 there. Really good for the local Quebecois driver there to take home a really good finish, especially considering basically everything that happened to her in this race. I feel like a lot of drivers had it out for her, as we saw in the pre-race, in the mid-race show, that close call for the 26. I think she was almost taken out of the race about 2 or 3 times, I want to say, but really good finish for them. Audie Stoneman finished 7th, another Red Racing car. Red Racing seems to be really good at getting these consistent finishes out of their cars. 23 has been very good in the last few weeks, of course. The 10 has been a little bit worse for wear. And actually, I say that this is only her 3rd top 10, so yeah, that's been the 10 car has been the weakest of the Red Racing cars, but still a good finish for that 10 team. 60, 32, and 42 round out the top 10. Really interesting to see the 32 and 42 drop down to the edge of the top 10 there. Those 2 cars were really quick for at points of the race, but in that last one really fell off and kind of tumbled down the order to the edge of the top 10 there.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting to where they dropped down to, especially the 42, given my calling. If I was there, I'd be disappointed, but also not too disappointed. I mean, still made it in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
I also thought Shintazei's comeback was pretty impressive.
Yeah, no, Shantase had a pretty really good comeback. Looking at the rest of the field, Dara Reister just missed out on getting her first top 10 of the year. Young Wei Ku finishing 12th, a decent day for Gulf Racing, 8th and 12th for that team. Yeah, considering they're kind of in that messy mid pack, especially Ku. a 12th place finish is definitely going to do her really well. And if the car's not finished the lap down, Handstrom, Yataka, Byrne, Yuria, Abby Little, and Irina Tosama. Little, Tosama, and Cole. Those three cars are really interesting because I don't think I saw too much of those cars. Those cars were basically perpetually a lap or two down, kind of fighting the early attrition, I should say, because from what I can remember, Rachel Cole was running with our front end basically the entire time, and so did Little and probably Yuria as well. I want to say. Actually, no, I think Yuria had different kind of damage, but at the same time, those three cars, those kind of cars that finished the lap down, were all kind of 2 or 3 laps down for a while, and I'm surprised that those cars managed to make it through the end through all the attrition, while some of the cars that were running in the lead lap, we saw the 21 blow up pretty late there. I'm surprised that those damaged cars were able to make it, but hey, maybe they were just taking care of the equipment and just trying to manage their way through the rest of the race, and it certainly worked for them. So, good stuff for them, I think.
Yeah, I would definitely give their pit crew props for sure.
Yeah, definitely looking pretty good, especially if you're someone like Paisley and Yuria, who's for a while had that really bad run of races. I mean, you just want to get any result, and 16th is not a bad result at all, considering some of the form that she's had through most of the race.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think another interesting point of note on those restarts, we saw it's really interesting to see on the restarts just how much the field shuffled in the restart at the beginning of the restarts. But one pattern that we saw from the race is that whoever managed to take the lead from that restart would just pull away. I mean, we saw that with I think the 42. We saw that with the 18 as well, of course. 18, 42 did that. 32 as well. And then the 6 in this final run, of course, did the same thing. And it's rather interesting to see. I wonder what effects the package had on that. Just you would think a high drag package like this wouldn't result in one car kind of pulling away that easily, but maybe the tires had something to do with it. It's really interesting to see, I think.
Yeah, restarts definitely really mattered this race for sure. I mean, no matter who got the restart, they would pull away. If it was a 42, they got a good restart, pull away. If it was the 18, got a good restart, pull away. I think I'm not sure what was up, but restarts definitely mattered this race. More so than I've seen other times.
Yeah, especially if you manage to pull out into the lead. It's just that it really seems like if you had the lead, the lap after a restart, you were pretty much good to go for at least until the next pit cycle or the next caution.
Yeah, that was definitely a pattern we've seen. I'm not sure if we've seen it with other tracks. I mean a little, but you wouldn't pull away this many laps.
Not that much, yeah. I would definitely expect that because it'll be interesting. Yeah, I would expect that kind of on a road course. Clean air definitely does matter. We'll see. We do have a bunch of road courses coming up, so it'll be fun to see what the package and the tire compounds do in those tracks. Of course, Mosport coming up next. We'll ignore Michigan because that's not a road course. Then it's Mexico City and Sonoma. Those are the next 2 road courses up on the schedule. So we do have quite a lot of road course racing coming up. And with that, we'll take it over back to Echo in the booth for her closing statements, and we'll wrap up this broadcast shortly.
Yeah, and a very enjoyable race here. After 92 laps, it still was fairly interesting towards the end. Jaime McJasmina, the race winner here from Montreal, will be back next week from Mosport at the 2.459 mile road course in Ontario. And for the Continental Series, they will be going to the half-mile track at Delaware Speedway. So some classic short track action and some classic road course action next week. We're doing it all over again, but we're doing it in Ontario next week. So I hope to see you there. All right, on behalf of Lou, Eddie, Ellie, Rasha, I'm Echo. Thank you all for joining. See ya!